Life is evolving. Over the past decade, the way we do almost everything has changed. Get on your phone, see something you like, click on it, and it shows up at your door. Why should the way you have your car serviced be any different? Why waste your time going to a dealership service department when Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to you? They service all makes, all models, and offer full parts and labor warranties. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to your door or office and service your vehicle while you're doing what you need to be doing, conducting that business meeting or mowing the lawn. Why take time out of your busy schedule when you don't have to? Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet's friendly, knowledgeable staff will come to you where you live or where you work for full service maintenance, from oil changes to tire rotations, brakes, batteries, multi-point inspections. They handle it all. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet is committed to delivering the best of the best to their customers. Trust them to service your vehicle where you're at home or at work. Skip the time-consuming and terminal wait at the dealership. Schedule your appointment at fordofhagerstown.com or hancockchevy.com.
Insurance companies like to play games. They say they're on your side, but they aren't. We have a team that can handle any curveball they throw. At Burke, Schultz, Harmon, and Jenkinson, you get a dedicated lawyer, and every case gets a team effort. So you get nearly 150 combined years of experience going to bat for you. And we like to win. Join the team that takes your personal injury case seriously. Burke, Schultz, Harmon, and Jenkinson. We play hardball.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. It's time for the excitement of NCAA Division II football featuring the Shepherd Rams and the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Today's coverage is brought to you by
Orsini's Home Store, Century 21 Modern Realty Results, Cody's Auto Body, The Palace Lounge, CMA Honda, the Berkeley County Health Department, Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, Brown's Funeral Home and Cremations, Hagerstown Ford, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Mirius Group of Financial Advisors, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, W. Harley Miller Systems, Smallwood and Small Insurance Agency, CMA Chrysler Dodge, WVU East, the law firm of Burke, Schultz, Harmon, and Jenkinson, RAI Properties, Parsons Ford, Rocks, John Hardy, Ollie's VIP North, Gary Kelly Allstate, and Panhandle Dumpsters.
Standing by is our TV10 broadcast team, so let's head to the field and get today's pregame show underway.
We'll be heading to the field today, but we welcome you into the TV10 studios as we're doing this first game from the studio between Shepherd and Southern Connecticut State. We thank you for joining us on TV10, but it's another season of Shepherd Rams football. The Rams coming off of a 9-3 year, which ended in the postseason. They opened things up against the Southern Connecticut State Owls. I'm Nick Verzolini, again joined this season by Travis Smith. Colin McLaughlin is our producer. And we're ready to rock and roll, Travis, for another season of Shepherd football. And a lot to be excited about with this team. A lot coming back for the Rams. Ton of experience. Had a playoff run last year. Unfortunately for them, had kind of a weird seeding situation where they were moved to a different region where they probably weren't going to be able to compete, and it ended up being a first-round loss. But overall, with everything that they lost from that team to get as far as they did, they bring back all that experience this year. Rams fans should have high expectations.
Absolutely, and that's something you look at this Shepherd program over the years, they're used to a lot of success. So when they have their first-round exit in the playoffs, it's kind of surprising to some people. But like you mentioned, weird seeding, going up against a very tough team in Lenore Ryan. and just having a tough game and not able to come out of that with a win. But you look back at the season, 9-3 overall, 5-2 in the conference. That's a season that any program can be happy with, and I think most Shepherd fans are going to be pretty happy with that. And you talked about a lot of the contributors that played major roles last year. A lot of those guys are coming back this year, but I think most people are going to be looking at their quarterback position. They got a new face in a new place, and I think a lot of people are going to be anxious to see what Lek Powell can bring to that Ram squad so far this year.
Yeah, Lek has been with the program for a while, but hasn't had a whole lot of playing time. He comes in with just 1 for 3 last season for 2 yards passing. So not a whole lot to build on. You have other guys with actually a little bit more experience behind him, like Sammy Roberts, who ended up throwing for just over 20 yards last year, and I think a touchdown or 2. But he does come into kind of the perfect situation with experienced running backs in Jordan Barnett and Malachi Brown, as well as transfer Grant Swinehart, who is expected to play a big role. You have the wide receiver room still intact from last year. Top 4 receivers all back in Jeremiah Taylor, Cam Dorner, Barry Hill, and Cordell Badden, and an offensive line that only loses 1 starter. So on paper, there's a lot of good things for Lek Powell to work with within this offense.
And it's a good situation because he's coming in, getting his first start, but they're not going to be putting the entire offense on his shoulders. It's something where he can just go out there, and I know it seems to be an ugly word nowadays, be a game manager, but that's all they're really going to ask him to do here early on until they get a feel for what they can do on the offensive side of the ball, because we talked about the starters that have returned on the offensive side of the ball. They also have a lot of starters that are coming back on the defensive side of the ball, so it's not going to be a lot of pressure on Lek Powell to try to carry the team himself. He can just lay back, let the game come to him, and really rely on some of those veteran starters that are going to be placed around it.
And Travis, defensively, this team brings back almost the entire defense. You do lose Dwayne Grantham, but Harold O'Neal and JT Yalcome both played big roles for this team a year ago with the injuries that Grantham had at linebacker. And then defensive line is where there's probably the biggest new names up front with the loss of Nathan Muley to the transfer portal, but secondary brings back a lot of experience to get a healthy Clayton Badden to start the season as well.
Absolutely. You look a little bit closer at that secondary. Miles Greer had some big games last year on special teams unit, came in, provided some sparks when he was able to step in as a position player on defense. Naeem Alexander, and like you mentioned, that's going to be the big question up front. And that was an issue last year as far as Shepherd being able to get pressure with that defensive front. It seemed like they were just tweaking it, trying to find that right combination up front to get some pressure on the quarterback. When they were able to move Nathan Muley outside to defensive end, it kind of looked like they had solved their problem. And then another thing popped up. Muley goes down and gets injured, but that allows some of those young players that are going to be stepping into a starting role this year to get some valuable experience. And like you mentioned, JT Kamayao and Harold O'Neal both tied for the lead in tackles for this defensive unit. So when you have your 2 leading tacklers returning back, it's going to make you feel pretty good. You look at Harold O'Neal, was named 2023 All-PSAC East second team, had 37 solo tackles, led the team in solo tackles. So you feel pretty good about that linebacking core really coming back and setting the tone for that defensive unit.
For sure. So we'll take a 2-minute break. On the other side of that break, we'll hear from the head coach of the Shepherd Rams, Ernie McCook, as the Rams head into year number 7 under Coach McCook and looking for another successful season. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10. We're back in 2 minutes with Coach McCook.
W. Harley Miller Systems understands the need and desire for reliable and affordable smart home solutions. Secure your home with a security system and keep a close eye on your family. Automate your home with a Control4 system and have smart technology work as one. Set daily schedules to control your thermostats. Push a button and set the mood for dinner by dimming lights and playing music, or just sit back and enjoy a movie in your own home theater. Put decades of experience to work for you. Visit us at WHMsystems.com or call 304-350-1931.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
Erie Insurance.
WV Medicine Surgery welcomes Dr. Anthony Mark, Dr. Alexandra Zubowicz, and Dr. Rebecca Schuford. Our expert team of board-certified surgeons combines state-of-the-art technology with patient-centered medical care. With 2 convenient locations, WV Medicine Surgery offers a variety of surgery options featuring revolutionary treatments that result in better surgical outcomes and quicker recoveries. Now accepting new patients. For appointments, call 304-596-2150.
We are the Skinner Brothers. Most folks only need a lawyer once or twice in their lives. And when they're injured or in an accident, most people don't know what to do. We get it. It can be overwhelming.
Nobody likes to be told, you need a lawyer. But that's why we're here. We want to get you back to your normal life and help you recover.
So if you or a loved one has been in an accident, give us a call. Let us figure out how we can get you compensation.
Reach us at SkinnerWins.com or Google Skinner Lawyers. We'll treat you like family.
Our coaches' interviews are brought to you by Parsons Ford, located at 1400 Shepherdstown Road in Martinsburg. They became number 1 by making you number 1 first, Parsons. Coach, it's been a matchup for your team the last 2 years between you and Southern Connecticut State. You're headed back to play at their place on a Thursday night again. What's the excitement like for the program, and just what do you like about this matchup that you've continued this series over the last few years?
Well, you know what? I think they're a first-class operation with how Coach Godick handles his team. It's a great regional opener for us. It's a Northeast 10 team. And we're glad to have that partnership with them. We know it's going to be a tough ball game. They're well-coached. They're hard-nosed. They're very blue-collar with how they play. We got away with one last year, so we know they're going to be hungry and want to play at a high level and get us. It's going to be a great challenge, but it's a game that can only help our team be better throughout the long run.
Coach, what were some things from that first matchup against Southern Connecticut State to the second one that you kind of saw to where your team can improve on? Obviously, it's going to be a different team than last year that you're facing, but what do you think you learned from that second matchup against Southern Connecticut State that you can bring into this year's matchup against them?
Well, when we originally played them, we played them up there, and that was Tyson Bajan's senior year. We obviously had a lot of returning experience. Last year, we played them at home, having them at home. I think what we saw is, a team that we match up well against, they match up well against us. It is going to be a real challenge. It is not something that it's not by any means a easy win for us or a definite loss. But it's that I just think it's a well-coached, hard-nosed football team that is going to be very similar to playing ourselves. They have a history of playing Pennsylvania State athletic programs. They played IUP in the past, and they've always been a great challenge. I think it's a great opener to see where we are as a football program.
Coach, you have another new starting quarterback this year in Lek Powell. You mentioned his consistency being something that really separated him in camp. You mentioned that during your press conference.
Yeah.
What have you seen from Lek that I guess compares to some of the other guys that have played quarterback from Shepherd? How is he different? How is he kind of the same in those ways?
Well, I think what we have is we've had for the first time in a long time, we've had a guy that's been in the program for learning the offense for a couple years. And so Lek was the backup last year to Seth Morgan, who was the grad transfer that we had from VMI. And, of course, Tyson for the 4 years prior to that, 4 seasons prior to that. The last time we had a guy that had been in the program for a couple years as a backup was Connor Jessup. They're two different type of quarterbacks. Lek is, very much he is an elusive guy. He's got a strong arm, can spin it. But this will be his first start as a college quarterback. And, I think with everybody around him, from our defense, our offensive line, and running backs and receivers, need to step up and help make him successful as he's the quarterback. Quarterback often gets too much credit and too much of the blame. I think, I'm obviously excited for Leck. He's worked hard and put a lot of time in, and he's been committed to our football program. I appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to seeing him have some great success.
Every quarterback loves to have a good rushing attack behind him, to have a two-dimensional offense. How do you see this year's running game comparing, obviously, a different look on the offensive line that always makes a difference, but bringing back Malachi Brown and Jordan Barnett, and then potentially adding Grant Swinehart into the mix? What can you tell us about what we can expect on, who's taking snaps at running back?
Well, you're going to see all three running backs. We're obviously Malachi is our starter. He was very productive for us last year in a positional move from wide receiver to running back, and actually is naturally a really dynamic player there. And then Jordan Barnett and Mal together last year was a nice 1-2 punch. And I think by adding Grant into the mix, we're able to see, have some real significant depth there with guys that can play at a high level. So I'm really pleased with that position. I like this football team a lot. I think all over the board, I think we've got a lot of really good players that play with great desire and effort and energy, and that holds true in the running back room.
Defensively last year, Coach, your team was kind of young. You return a lot this year on that side of the ball. I guess, what are some expectations for the defense in terms of what you're going to be able to do with that unit this year?
Well, the defense is playing outstanding. I mean, the things that our coaches have done with the defense and the improvements that they've made have been, just transformational. I think that, I sit there and I've had to deal with our defense as the offensive line coach all through spring ball and all through fall camp, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them on the field against an outside opponent. It starts up front with Jack Baxter and Matt Benarski and Jack Brutus and Brett Koka and Vince Fluke and Danny McPherson are all guys on the defensive line that are going to contribute in a significant way. I think our linebacking core is outstanding with obviously Harold O'Neal, who's a returning starter, Avante Lockhart, who's creating depth for us, Joseph Groves, who I think had transferred from William & Mary, whose dad played at Shepherd for Coach Barr, and Brody Carroll and Cole Scott. That room is as impressive as any position room that we have on the team. And they play hard, they play fast, they play physical, and they are always aligned in the right way. And the back end, I think our corners right now, the two starters, and Dante Harrison and Clayton Batten back after a medical redshirt last year. Those two guys are outstanding with what they do. And our safeties, Gio Tolbert, man, he is just watching him, how much better he's gotten from fall last year through spring ball to where he's playing right now. I think he's going to pop on tape when we watch him, and I think Miles Greer is a player that everybody can really get excited, and people are going to want to know who that guy is as we get through the season.
You have your second straight year now with Tom Clark as your offensive coordinator. It's been a while since you've had the same offensive coordinator 2 years in a row. What have you been game planning out with him that you can tell us, of course, when it comes to, what, or just in general, what it means to bring him back for the second year in a row? Obviously, you have a history with him, and it's nice to have that continuity.
Yeah, it is awesome having the continuity, but, the play callers have changed, but the offense has remained the same. The basis of our offense was built 20 years ago. When I came here as the offensive line coach, offensive coordinator, we've only added to it and kind of built on it. And I feel like, we make our offense fit the personnel that we have and what they do well. I think Tom is more in sync this year right now. And he has a challenge with the first-year starter. I mean, one thing, obviously having Tyson Bagent, and then we were able to get Seth Morgan, the transfer. Seth actually started games at VMI. I think our biggest challenge is we're going to have a first-year starter, man. And there's probably a lot of emotions going through Lex's head right now. And we just have to keep him focused, keep the game plan where he'll execute and get the ball to our playmakers. And our playmakers are Jeremiah Taylor, Cam Dorner, Cordell Batten, in the receiving core. And I think you can see Roman Pearson, a Martinsburg guy. He's going to do some good things for us. Also, we have a grad transfer in Thaddeus Stanfield. I think Thad's going to make some plays for us in the receiving core. And then, our tight ends, Brian Jester, Dustin Fisher, and Jack Rostich, all were the same guys who were in those positions last year and are very familiar with what we do offensively. And I'm really excited about the offensive line. Ty Lucas, who I do believe is one of the best offensive linemen in the country, is playing guard for us. Brandon Carr and Wyatt Pelicano are tackles. And then center James Bell and Curtis Jefferson and Josh Crummett. So, our overall football team is, I think, in a really good spot. I think that we have some, obviously we're going to play a new opponent. Our defensive guys are going to see something new, which is going to be refreshing for them. Our offensive guys are going to see something new, which is going to be refreshing for us offensively. I think our team is going to be very excited to go play. This is why you sign up. This is why you join the program. This is why you come to Shepherd to play in games. And knowing that we're going to play against a really good football team, you can't look at their record. You don't judge what conference they come from. And just know that you got a coaching staff that prepares their players well. They got a blue-collar type mentality where they're going to play hard. They're going to be physical, and we're going to have to match all those things. Make more plays and less mistakes to be able to come away with the win.
Coach, during your press conference, you also mentioned that there was still a kicking competition. Have you figured that out yet? And do you want to announce who the kicker is?
We're still a couple days away. So I think we're, Matt Barrett, our Ryan Barrett is our punter, and we're good to go with him. I think you could probably see both kickers kick.
That was our coach interview, brought to you again by Parsons Ford. They became number one by making you number one. First, Parsons. We'll be back with more here on the Shepherd Rams pregame show after this.
Drive More Days is back at Carter Myers Automotive. And this year, we'll keep you rolling with a $1,000 gas card. Visit any of our locations to take a test drive, and we'll enter you into a drawing to win a $1,000 gas card. With that kind of money, fill up a pump for the rest of the year completely on us. Stop in during Drive More Days for your chance to win a $1,000 gas card. Only at Carter Myers Automotive. Owners just care more.
Have you been smoking? I can smell it. Hickory.
I'm gonna watch you smoke the whole pack. Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
Have you been smoking? I can smell it. Hickory.
I'm gonna watch you smoke the whole pack. Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
A DUI arrest can have a devastating impact on one's life, your job, your driver's license, and in some cases, your very freedom. My name is Harley Wagner. I own and operate West Virginia's only exclusive DUI defense firm. Since 1999, I've been representing citizens throughout the Eastern Panhandle and state of West Virginia charged with DUI. Let my years of training and experience work for you.
The initial consultation is free at the Wagner Law Firm in Martinsburg. Phone 304-901-7400 or online at westvirginiaduilawyers.com.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Welcome you back here on the pregame show. As looks like we have view of the field, Colin, if you want to go ahead and take us to the field as we get ready for Shepherd Southern Connecticut here. It's NE10 versus PSAC action. Nick Verzolini, Travis Smith here on the pregame show. Travis, as we talked a lot about Shepherd in that first segment, we look at Southern Connecticut State. It's a pretty interesting team for them. They do return their starting quarterback in Keith Ridley, as well as running back Elijah Gray, who both led the conference. Ridley led the conference in the NE10 in passing yards last season, and Gray led the conference in rushing yards. So on paper, they have guys that should be able to be successful with moving the football, but they only averaged 18 points per game last year. So it was kind of a weird season for them to have the leading passer and the leading rusher in the conference, but kind of have an up and down year.
And you also have to look over those great linebackers that they had last year. So, again, kind of a head scratcher as to why they didn't have more success. But you mentioned that quarterback. He's a big boy, 6'4", 230-pound graduate student. So you have experience, you have size. And last year completed 57% of his passes for 2,244 yards, 17 touchdowns, did have 11 interceptions. So, he's certainly wanting to get that down this year. And when you look at the yards, you want to get more. So that's going to be more yards after the catch. So you really can't look at the quarterback too much on that one. He's getting the ball out. He's making the right decision and taking what the defense is giving him. He just needs some help from his wide receivers to break a tackle, make somebody miss, and that's going to help boost up those numbers. So like you said, a veteran core returning on the offensive side of the ball, and I think that's going to be a pretty big key for them today, is if they can keep that Shepherd defense on the field for a long time. It's still kind of warm out there, so you figure that first game of the season, you have nerves, that adrenaline's going, fatigue could play a factor down the stretch.
Yeah, I think it definitely could, as the teams have taken the field and are just about ready for kickoff here between Shepherd and Southern Connecticut State. Let's take one more quick 2-minute break, and then on the other side of that break, we'll get set for kickoff. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How do I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm Philip McCoy, financial advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
After a car accident, what do you get when you call Mansion Ferretti?
You get more experience from a local law firm with over 115 years of combined service.
More respect from a team who treats clients like their own family.
And more fight, because we want you to get every dollar you deserve.
Experience, respect, results. If you've been injured, that's what you want in your lawyer.
And that's what you'll get when you call us. Car accident? Get more with Mansion Ferretti. 304-264-8505.
Drive More Days is back at Carter Myers Automotive, and this year we'll keep you rolling with a $1,000 gas card. Visit any of our locations to take a test drive, and we'll enter you into a drawing to win a $1,000 gas card. With that kind of money, fill up at the pump for the rest of the year, completely on us. Stop in during Drive More Days for your chance to win a $1,000 gas card, only at Carter Myers Automotive, owners just care more.
We welcome you back here to Southern Connecticut. Well, we're in the studio, but back to the game between Shepherd and Southern Connecticut. Nick Verzolini alongside me, Travis Smith here, as our pregame show was brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems, providing custom integration services like home and office automation, home theater networking, auto video distribution, and more. Call 304-350-1931 or visit whmsystems.com. Travis, let's get your keys to the game, brought to you by WVU Medicine, Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers, leading healthcare here and everywhere.
Well, first, looking over at Shepherd, I think limiting turnovers is going to be crucial. Until we get a feel for what this offense is going to be able to do this year, there is no reason to assume that they're going to be able to dig themselves out of a hole the way they have in years past. So I think limiting the football, especially here in the season opener, is going to be crucial. Also, the Rams, you want to establish the run. You want to talk about having that running game coming back, the running back room, familiar faces up front. And that's something that Shepherd has done over the years, does a tremendous job of developing offensive linemen. You have a large group of those guys returning this year. So I think running that ball early is going to help set up play action pass. And most importantly, is going to help your young quarterback, well, inexperienced quarterback, I should say, get into a rhythm early on and keep that pressure out of his face. And on defense, they need to get after the quarterback. Last year, only 19 sacks. That was something that they really tinkered and struggled with at times, just trying to get pressure on the quarterback without having to blitz, because when you blitz, you really leave yourself exposed on the back end, and you certainly don't want to do that on defense. Don't want to give up those big plays. And another thing, we talked about it, freshman kickers this year for Shepherd. So you don't want to put them in a tight spot where the game is going to be on them. So you also want to try to make some plays and give yourself a little bit of breathing room, because you really don't want this game to come down to a kick and throw your young kickers into the fire.
Shepherd being forced to kick off to start the game, and that kick's going to roll out of bounds. So not a good start for the kicking game. Our opening kickoff was brought to you by the Berkeley County Health Department. Prevent, Promote, Protect, offering public, clinical, and environmental services at 122 Waverly Court in Martinsburg. So, Travis, its eyes are going to be on the kicking competition. With the camera angle, I couldn't quite tell exactly who kicked off to begin the game, but I heard from Coach McCook, as he noted in our pregame interview, both kickers are going to get shot. So it could have been Blake Powell, it could have been Keith Baker. But either way, to start your kicking game with a kick that goes out of bounds doesn't give you a ton of confidence. The ball will start at the 35-yard line for Southern Connecticut State, and we'll see how they look early on, as they'll run the QB keeper and gain about a yard or two before being brought down on the play. So we'll see Keith Ridley there at quarterback, Elijah Gray in the backfield, like we noted in the pregame, a dynamic duo. And they'll have a 2nd and 9 now from the 36-yard line.
And that's going to be key for the Owls today, is establish some type of ball control offense. You really want to try to keep that Shepherd defense out there and make them take as many snaps as possible, and hopefully try to wear them down the stretch, and also keep that Shepherd offense off the field.
Rams showing a blitz here on 2nd down and 9, and Ridley will give to Gray. Gray runs off the guard, and he is stuffed. Shepherd all over that play. I believe Harold O'Neal led the charge, but kind of difficult to tell exactly. Rams, though.
It's usually a safe bet. If it's not O'Neal, it's going to be JT Kamayal. And this Shepherd defense, they're built with speed and athleticism, not the biggest guys up in that box area, but they do such a good job of reading and reacting and flying to the ball and making plays.
So 3rd down and 11. It's a 2-yard loss on the play for Southern Connecticut State. And Ridley rolling to the right and going to be forced out of bounds. Nothing really there. So Southern Connecticut State will be forced to punt.
And some pressure coming off the end by Brett Quaka, forcing the quarterback out of the pocket. Now, we've already seen the quarterback for the Owls move around a little bit, so he's not uncomfortable moving the ball, but that time just speeding up that clock a little bit, forcing him to get rid of it a bit sooner than he wanted. And not able to convert on that third down.
So we wait the punt here from Andreas Piccarelli, and his punt is going to be fielded by the Rams on the run, and it'll be solid field position around the 38-yard line where Shepherd will take over. And a Southern Connecticut player is down at around the 25-yard line. So hopefully everything good there. But good field position here, Travis, for Shepherd on this opening drive. And we'll see what this offense looks like with Lek Powell.
So you kick off the game, you put your defense out on the field first. That's where most of those veteran starters are returning on that side of the ball. And they go out there and absolutely take care of business. It really only gave up a yard on that drive, 3 and out. They force a quick kick. And again, that offense coming out, like you mentioned, great field position. So Shepherd right now doing all the things that they need to take the pressure off of that quarterback position and really get this season started off on the right foot.
Player still down there on the field with an injury. Now looks like he is being helped to his feet. And will be helped off the field, but 12:41 to go in this first quarter. We'll see the Rams offense here. Again, it's a new look offense for Shepherd with Lek Powell taking over at quarterback. And first quarter brought to you by Smallwood and Small Insurance in Martinsburg, your total insurance solution. As well as Hagerstown Ford, revolutionizing the car buying experience. Go to fordofhagerstown.com. Smallwood and Small Insurance is located at 121 Administrative Drive in Martinsburg. Call 304-263-3361. So the Rams take the field with Lek Powell in the pistol formation. Malachi Brown is the back lined up behind him. And player goes in motion. It's a jet sweep. Barry Hill moves the ball ahead to about the 41-yard line. And it'll be second down for Shepherd.
Hill, a 5'9", 155-pound senior wide receiver, transferring in from West Virginia State and having quite a season last year for the Rams. 41 catches for 634 yards and 6 touchdowns. So always a good opportunity to get the ball in his hands early on.
That'll be Hill again in motion. They'll turn around and hand it off to the running back. And good hold there for Brown on the carry. And he's going to be tackled, I believe, a yard short of the first down marker. So I know they'll move the chains. So first down, Shepherd.
And so far, this has been the way they've set up in the backfield and in the pistol look and faking that jet sweep coming across. That was a formation and an action that they've tinkered with over the years. We saw it some during Tyson Bajan's time and a little bit after that, mostly like in garbage time. But you know that's a concept that they do have in their offensive playbook.
Morgan will look to throw here, dumps it down in the flat to Brown, and Brown picks up a short gain on the reception, so good stuff there from Malachi.
Brown just showing good athleticism, able to go down low, get that ball, and able to steady himself. You talked about good hands. Last year, able to reel in 37 catches for 276 yards, so he is a productive receiver out of the backfield.
Yeah, Malachi, of course, is a former receiver, so he has that familiarity, he has that ability, and I think that's what really stands out about, Malachi Brown's game. But here we are on a second down and 6 for Shepherd. Lek Powell, nearly called him Seth Morgan, and that play is blown up in the backfield by Southern Connecticut State. And do apologize, we are doing this game remotely. We have no control over the camera view exactly or anything like that. So kind of hard to identify everybody, but we'll do our best. I believe that was Chris White, though, coming in, the defensive back, number 2, to make that tackle there in the backfield.
And he might.
Looks like there's a penalty.
He got
anyway,
there so quick, but he jumped off sides.
That's another thing. We have no real idea unless we see the flag on the field to know if there's a penalty. So
not really a consolation prize for Malachi Brown on that play. He's still got a face full of defender on that play.
But instead, it's 2nd down and 1 for Shepherd, and the Rams will hand it off to Malachi, and he has the first down, moving it now into Southern Connecticut territory, down to about the 41-yard line. So Shepherd getting its offense going a little bit. We're going to see Swinehart for the first time come into the backfield along with Jack Rosnage, the fullback. Dustin Fisher's out there. Everything says run, but I think you got to watch out for some play action with Taylor and Hill there to the far side. On 1st down and 10 for the Rams from the 41. Lek Powell goes play action pass, dumps it down in the flat. There's Jack Rosnage, and Rosnage with a burst of speed down the near sideline.
And you remember last year, after he got his first catch, was injured, and we didn't see him for the rest of the year after that. So happy to see him, one, make that completion and pick up some yards and pop back up and head back to the huddle. Really stayed in, and was a nice bright spot for the little bit of time he was in there in that fullback position. They use him more in that H-back style where it's not going to line up in that traditional fullback spot. They kind of move him around as a tight end / fullback, H-back. There you go.
Yeah, and he dealt with some injuries last year, so to see him back and healthy is good. As here's Swinehart on 1st down and 10, moving the ball forward to about the 30-yard line. We do have somebody calling in, but unfortunately this isn't a call-in program. So you'll have to go to voicemail, I guess. I don't know. I mean, if you're looking for the Shepherd game, again, it's not being streamed by us. We're only available on Comcast Channel 10. The game will go back up on YouTube in a few days if you want to tune in later. But here we are, 2nd down and 10. No gain on that play with Swinehart in the backfield. Looks like Malachi Brown has moved back to the backfield. Jeremiah Taylor is the far receiver. And Lek Powell will hand it off to Malachi. And Pelicano fell down, and I think it would have been a big hole, but good job by the D-end on the outside to kind of throw off his blocker and make it a tough play for Shepherd. It'll be 3rd and 8 as they go no huddle. Lek Powell trying to catch the defense off guard. Powell looking deep down the far left sideline for Taylor. I have no idea if he caught it. He did not, because the cameraman did not move the camera until the last moment there, but I didn't think he did. But, hey, Shepherd going no huddle, trying to catch Southern Connecticut off guard and go deep for Jeremiah Taylor. Doesn't work out there, Travis, but now it's a 4th and 8. They are not in field goal range, so we'll see if the Rams can draw up here on 4th down. Looks like Baden is the slot receiver. I believe Malachi's out there at wide receiver as well. And then Barry Hill here to the near side. I believe that's Swinehart. I'm sorry, that's Brown in the backfield. So must be Baden there, I believe, at the top of your screen. And Powell's just going to punt it. And punt will roll inside the 5 to the 1-yard line. So it's a perfect punt from the quarterback, Lek Powell.
There you go. And when you're able to line up, we saw that several times with Tyson Bagent, quite an accomplished punter when you go out there in that quick kick situation. And one of the things that gives you is an advantage is that the team, the defense, not able to set up a return because, again, they have to honor that your offense is out there lined up in a normal formation, so they really can't get into that return. And that's the ideal situation, like you mentioned. You put it back, and you see the Rams coming out just looking to employ a ball control, field position battle style of game here early on. Again, just trying to take all the advantages that they possibly can to get some going here early on in the season.
So 1st and 10.
Looks like it's going to be a false start on the
looks
left
like
tackle.
A false start against Southern Connecticut. We would be Suda then. I'm sorry, left tackle would be Everett. I'm sorry, Carew Gomes. But can't really move him much farther back, so it doesn't really matter too much.
Hurt him, but it's just you can tell that the nerves being backed up that close to your goal line, you really have no margin for error.
So 1st down and 10. for Southern Connecticut, all the way backed up. They'll hand it off to Gray. I think he just barely made it out of that end zone. Naeem Alexander was coming off the edge to at least set the edge and force him back inside before the Rams could bring him down on the play.
And with a quarterback the size of Ridley, I'm surprised Southern Connecticut State just didn't try to go for a quarterback sneak just to get some type of breathing room to get off of that goal line, because you're really handcuffed as to what you can call when you're backed up that close to your own end zone.
Yeah, Gray might have got a yard, though, for them anyway. And Gray does, while he is a little bit undersized in terms of height, does weigh 215 pounds at 5'8". So he's a tough guy to bring down, and they'll feed him again here. And Gray gets positive yardage. And it's a good job by the Rams. Miles Greer in there, as well as Brett Kawoka, who we've heard a lot of good things about, the redshirt sophomore transfer, 6'2", 270 pounds. And it'll be a 3rd down and long for Southern Connecticut State. But they did move the ball away from their own end zone a little bit. This may be one of those drives where, unfortunately, the field position is just not going to help you too much if you're Southern Connecticut, and you may just have to, settle for a punt. Yeah, but just anything but a safety or a turnover here if you're the Owls. 3rd and 5, though, is manageable. So we'll see what they can draw up. Ridley takes the snap, has some time, looking deep near sideline, and if he got a foot in, that's going to be a 1st down for Southern Connecticut, but it looks like Batten actually broke it up, or may have even, he didn't come away with an interception, but he broke it up on the play, so 4th and 5.
Batten doing a good job of just riding the wide receiver over into the sidelines. That wide receiver, if you know you're going to get that outside release and you're looking to get down the field, you got to set up a little bit. You got to cheat inside a little bit to give yourself some room. Not only give yourself some room, but give your quarterback some room to drop that ball in between you and the sideline. And that time, Batten just did a good job of taking away all that extra space and driving him out of bounds.
It was Gadsden, the intended receiver, but it'll be 4th and 5, and the punt
high snap
heads out of the end zone for the safety. So Shepherd gets its first points of the season on a bad snap safety, and it's 2-0 Rams, 6:18 to go. Let's take a break here for about a minute, and we'll see how long we can do these breaks. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
We're the Skinner Brothers. Most folks only need a lawyer once or twice in their lives, and when they're injured or in an accident, most people don't know what to do. We get it. It can be overwhelming.
Nobody likes to be told you need a lawyer, but that's why we're here. We want to get you back to your normal life and help you recover.
So if you or a loved one has been in an accident, give us a call. Let us figure out how we can get you compensation.
Reach us at SkinnerWins.com or Google Skinner Lawyers. We'll treat you like family.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, shrimp nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
We welcome you back here to Shepherd, Southern Connecticut State. Again, we're doing this game remotely, but the Owls now trail the Shepherd Rams 2-0 after a bad snap leads to a safety in the back of that end zone. And, I was about to note that Southern Connecticut was punting from the back of their end zone, so it was going to be dangerous, but didn't really have time to get that in there before the play, and it ends up going over the head and through the hands of the punter. Now Miles Greer on the safety punt return is going to get it all the way out to midfield. So the Rams are in excellent positioning here, Travis, to take an early 8-0 and then possibly 9-0 lead.
And you think back to last year, Miles Greer, a very dynamic player on the special teams part of the game, had a big 86-yard punt return for a touchdown last year. So certainly something that Rams team is going to need this year, where it's going to definitely be all hands on deck as the offense, defense, and special teams contributing to the Rams' success.
So 6:12 to go in this first quarter. 2-0 Shepherd. And we'll see Lek Powell on the offense for the second time here today. Malachi Brown play action. Powell rolling to the right. Going to look to run and tuck it under for a few yards. Bring the ball into Southern Connecticut territory. That's something that Lek will bring a little bit more than the last few Shepherd Rams quarterbacks, as he has a little bit more mobility. He is a little bit undersized for the position. Listed at, I believe, 6 foot, but maybe a little bit generous for him.
Yeah, 6 foot in cleats.
Yeah, 188 pounds. So he has good speed, and comes from Bishop McDevitt High School, which is where LaShawn McCoy played his high school football in central Pennsylvania. They'll go play action here. Dump down pass incomplete, intended for Swinehart, the transfer from VMI at running back.
And you can see early on that the offensive play calling for Shepherd, they're just trying to get Powell a little bit more comfortable, giving him those zone read actions in the backfield, getting him out of the backfield on the move, looking to drop the ball off into the flat. So right now, a smart job of just protecting your quarterback and just really not trying to put too much on his plate all at once here in the season opener. And with your defense and special teams playing the way they are, there's no reason to really try to force the issue. Just let the game come to him, let things slow down, and those plays will start to happen.
But all of a sudden, what looked like it could be a productive drive for Shepherd, they're backed up now on a 3rd and 7. Malachi Brown open underneath, but Southern Connecticut reading that right away. A flag, I believe, was thrown on the play as well.
I'm thinking maybe Malachi Brown might have turned upfield a bit too soon. Looked like the timing was off on that play. The way Brown was taking off full speed towards the sidelines, what you want to try to do is snap that ball to the quarterback so he can zip it out there so that receiver doesn't have to slow down when he catches it, and he can just keep the momentum as he turns upfield, that time having to wait. And I believe that might have been what the issue was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It might have just been something coming across the screen, and maybe it wasn't a flag. But we will have a punt here from Barrick on 4th and 6. So it's going to be good. Oh,
ball.
Southern Connecticut, I believe, made contact. No, apparently they did not, since I didn't see anybody really running after it too toughly.
Yeah, that was certainly some miscommunication back there. You had 2 returners back there in the same area and not a lot of communication. So here early on, you're seeing some jitters here in the season opener for both teams. But right now, the Rams able to take advantage so far with an early 2-0 lead.
Yeah, I mean, not what you wanted at all there if you were Southern Connecticut. They've been backed up. And this may be how Shepherd has to win games early in the year, and it's really how they did last year with the field position battle. It's 2-0 Rams here with 4:41 in the first quarter, but it's so tough to expect an opponent to counter with anything too risky when you're all the way backed up, and even just a bad snap can lead to a safety here. So we've already seen that once.
All right, the referee stopping action briefly, just getting them to restart the play clock.
4:41 here in the first quarter. 2-0 Shepherd leads Southern Connecticut State. 1st down and 10. And they'll run Gray for a few. Got it out to about the 4-yard line.
And again, hats off to that Rams defense. It was all 11 hats to the ball on that play. Nobody bit on that fake at all. Everybody flew to the running back.
Looked like Jack Brutus led the way for Shepherd. Just a 1-yard gain for Elijah Gray, the senior. So it'll be interesting to see if the Owls offense can establish something against Shepherd. I mentioned on the Sports Mix maybe Shepherd having a little bit of an undersized offensive line. Southern Connecticut has just one offensive lineman above 315, and most of their guys are in that 280, 290, 270 range even, and even a 265. But there's a throw over the middle and a big hit, but a big catch for Southern Connecticut, and it's a 1st down.
Now looks like Southern Connecticut's going a little tempo here, just trying to catch the Rams defense off guard. And an incomplete pass. Again, just a little quick screen out into the flats. They had a multiple wide receiver look out there, and the blocks were there. Just the wide receiver not able to bring it in and get anything from it. So again, it's Southern Connecticut just struggling to find their footing here early on.
Trying to get caught up with you guys. My stream got behind a little bit, but here we go. 1st down and 10, 3:34 left in this first quarter. 2-0 Shepherd. And they'll run the rock here, and Shepherd is all over that one. Rams just, nothing on the ground here today for Southern Connecticut. And Baden led the way, and then it looked like Bednarski cleaned it up for the Rams.
And again, the Rams not very big up front, just going across 270, 270, 270, 230. So not a lot of beef up front, but what they do have is a whole lot of hustle. And you saw it on that play. Really nobody biting on those fakes at all. Everybody's flying to the football, and again, just very stout against the run. And that Shepherd defense has always been blessed with speed and athleticism, so you're going to have to run right at them. I don't think you're going to be able to get to the edge with this group of guys.
Jack Baxter, and on that tackle, but the pass here on 3rd and 14 is a dump off to Gray, and he does nothing with it. Yeah, the speed, getting after it, and the Rams, again, they're going to bring like that NASCAR package out onto the field. There you saw Yao Kome lined up at defensive end. That was a role that we saw last year reserved for Kevin Kauser, who had another year of eligibility, decided not to play. Some of his teammates kind of were joking around that maybe him having to play and put his hand in the dirt every week maybe pushed him away. But Kauser certainly was a great player for the Rams. He was a linebacker that had to move to the end and even played some nose tackle for them at the end of last season. And that's what they needed to get some pass rush. And you're seeing Yao Kome there come in and play some D-end. So I think they're going to do some different things with that D-line, especially in those passing situations, Travis.
And that's a tough situation. And Kauser was an outstanding linebacker. You could tell that he just had a natural feel for the position, but sometimes you're put into a position where you have to try to put athletes in different places. And you're a football player first before you're any type of position. You're a football player first. So if your team needs you to go there, and Kauser answered the call, but I certainly understand that you go from having to deal with fullbacks, tight ends, and running backs. Now you're down there dealing with the big behemoths up front. I can certainly see why he might want to look for a different career path.
But our timeouts here, Southern Connecticut has to burn one on a 4th down, which is never great here in the first half. Timeouts are brought to you by the Larry DeMarco team at Century 21 Modern Realty Results. Looking for a home in the Tri-State? Call the Larry DeMarco team at 304-250-3551 or visit them online at www.modernrealtyresults.com. So 4th and 8, we'll await the punt here from Southern Connecticut State as the Owls. Piccarelli will kick it away. It's a bouncer. Miles Greer won't have anything to do with it, and it will head out of bounds. And Shepherd will again have good field position here, Travis, but the Rams haven't really had anything to show for it.
Not at all, and you could tell that had really pained Greer not to be able to make a play on that football. He is a player that plays with a lot of intensity, a lot of passion, and again, a big threat as far as a returner goes. Actually was named one of the best returners in the PSAC last season. 2023 All PSAC East first team return specialist.
So Shepherd with 2:02 left in this first quarter. It's a 1st and 10 for the Rams. Have it at about the 34-yard line. And we'll see Lek Powell come out and throw. And Powell delivers a strike over the middle, but it's incomplete. Broken up on the play by Southern Connecticut State. With like Ivory Parker, possibly. Definitely a linebacker there in the 30s, but
Hauser. I believe it was Hauser.
Okay.
Mason Hauser, the 6'2",
yes.
220-pound inside linebacker, sophomore. Looked like he might have got there a little bit early, but the referees did not pull the trigger on that one.
There they run Swinehart across the 40 to about the 41, so good run there. And again, Shepherd going no huddle. Play action pass from Lek Powell, incomplete, intended for Jeremiah Taylor.
And again, you could just see the small thing, just the timing isn't there. They
Might
go
have been a
tempo.
penalty on this play. Or, no, they just, I guess, really wanted to go for it, but 4th and 3, and they're going to punt. Yeah, I don't know about the no huddle so much early on with a young quarterback. It's a little bit interesting to see, but so far hasn't been super successful for the Rams. Barrick will punt again here. First quarter, 1:37 left.
And you try to change up the tempo, and maybe you're able to get something cheap here and there, catch the defense off guard, but like you said, it hasn't connected so far.
Barrick with another great punt. It's going to roll inside the 20 to inside about the 15 to about the 14, 13-yard line actually is where they spotted, and we'll see more from the Owls offense in this defensive struggle here early on. Or offensive struggle, defensive battle. 2-0 Shepherd, 1:27 left. And Travis, again, the Rams will rotate a lot of guys there up front. It appears that we're even seeing
and it's a
some
smart
rotation at linebacker as well.
Yeah, and it's a smart thing to do right now. The Shepherd offense not able to possess the ball for long stretches of time. So if your defense is going to be out there, you want to try to keep them fresh and don't want to get them worn down early in the game.
Play action pass is dumped down underneath and complete to Kyle Villani, the redshirt freshman wide receiver. And now I think I moved ahead of you slightly. So,
and you're starting to see why that Owls offense had such pedestrian numbers out of the passing game, because he's making the smart play. Like, he's taking the checkdowns, he's taking what the defense is giving him. But when you do that with the hopes that you get the ball to an athlete in space, that they're able to make somebody miss, make a tackle. Make somebody miss a tackle, run somebody over, break a tackle. And right now, those Owl receivers aren't able to hold up their end of the bargain.
Yeah, do gain 5 on that previous pass, and now a short run will bring it to third and manageable here for Southern Connecticut, who has an opportunity early on to possibly get something going offensively. It's a 3rd down and 4. Rams go to the 3-down linemen. Groves and Scott are your linebackers there in the middle. And we'll see how they can match up with the Owls here on 3rd down and 4. Ridley is in the shotgun. He'll look to throw. Dumps it underneath. Complete, but it's going to be short of the 1st down as Shepherd was all over it.
Curious, it looks like the one referee is pointing like they got it, but if you run that route short of the sticks, I feel sorry for you when you have to go back to the sidelines, because your coach is not going to be happy, and looks like they are moving the sticks. He was right there. He didn't give himself a lot of room for error on that one, and you really depended on the referee to make that call. But it looks like it's going to be 4th and 2. They're switching sides of the field for the quarter change.
Yeah, so they are moving the sticks, but not for a 1st down. We'll take a break. On the other side of this break, we'll have the 2nd quarter. This is Shepherd Rams football here on TV 10.
Rox has 3 new chicken sandwiches for $4.99. They got the golden chicken sandwich, the hot honey mango, and one with the 4 basic food groups: chicken, buffalo, bacon, and ranch. Righteous!
Rock's Local Market. 3 new chicken sandwiches, just $4.99.
Rox has 3 new chicken sandwiches for $4.99. I'm getting the golden chicken sandwich or the buffalo bacon ranch. Hot honey mango for me. Dude, you don't have any eyebrows.
Rock's Local Market. 3 new chicken sandwiches, just $4.99.
One of the questions lawyers get asked the most is, what is my case worth?
I'm Steven Skinner, and this is my brother Andrew with Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers.
The truth is, it's very difficult for a lawyer to pinpoint a number because every case is different.
We get to know each situation and we'll give you an idea of what your case is worth and why.
The sooner we get involved, the better we can do getting you the compensation you deserve.
Google Skinner Lawyers or go to skinnerwins.com. We'll treat you like family.
Unfortunately, the stream of the broadcast has gone into technical difficulties, so there's not really much we can do in this situation, unfortunately. So,
first game jitters have extended to all people involved in the first game.
Yeah, hopefully this doesn't last too long, obviously, because this is a paid-for service here. It should be top-notch, right?
If it stays like this, I'm going to have to get you and Colin out in the parking lot, and y'all going to have a game of one-on-one out there. We can televise that.
Yeah, we could.
I don't know how many people would watch it.
It's possibly worth something. I don't know if that's even a good idea for Colin and I. I'm just going to blame Colin. Colin, how are you? I turned your mic on.
I don't even know if I want to talk if I'm taking the blame for nothing I can control here. It's all Flow Sports that is experiencing technical issues. So
yeah,
got that at the end of the quarter. So waiting for that to come back. But that's the situation we were given. This is the only option for us to be able to still provide coverage of the game. So right now we're just chilling, I guess, and hoping it comes back quickly. I guess the only other thought I have is to update people if they are keeping live stats. I don't know.
Yeah, they should be. I can try to do that. Yeah, I mean, I guess the only real positive is that if you are streaming the game, you're also experiencing these technical difficulties. It's not like it's just us experiencing technical difficulties. So you're not really missing anything in terms of nobody's really viewing it right now, if that makes any sense. So let's see here. Looks like it's 2nd and 11, and Ridley completed a pass for 7 yards, so there must have been some sort of penalty here. So they did, I guess. Oh, well, the stream's back, so, doesn't matter.
Thank God.
All right, Colin, goodbye.
Good job, Colin. Got the game back on. Proud of you.
Yeah, I give credit to Colin. Reading the live stats was not going well, so let me just try to get myself back here. But hey, we didn't miss much. It doesn't look like, because it's 4th and 5 now. I think they somehow did get a first down or something. I don't know. But they're punting, which is where we left off. So it's almost like you didn't miss anything, if you look at it this way.
I'm like, in the way the game was going, it wasn't like we were going to miss some type of scoring explosion. So.
That would have been fun, though. or not fun for us, but it would have been kind of funny if they did score.
Just come back and just all of a sudden turn into a barn burner.
We come back, it's 35-34.
Just took them a little while to get warmed up.
Colin, if you can, try to maybe move it forward to live so then we can be synced up again, if that's a possibility. But Shepard just broke a big run, so don't bring it forward to live, as Malachi Brown's going to take it into the end zone for a touchdown, Rams, and it's now 8-0 Shepard here with 12:23 to go in this second quarter.
See, we just talked it up.
Yeah, seriously.
We're going to put some positive vibes out there, and it happened.
Huge run for Malachi Brown. I mean, just great blocking. Nobody even touched him.
Again, running behind Big Jack Rosnich does a good job of opening up that hole, and Malachi Brown doesn't need a lot of daylight to make it happen. You can certainly see why he is the player that he is. One of the best offensive forces in the PSAC, named 2023 All-PSAC second team.
Yeah, I mean, if he holds on to the football, he could be one of the best running backs in the entire Division II. I mean, he has the talent. It's clearly there, and he has a good offensive line in front of him. So I'm excited to see Malachi Brown in his second year as playing running back. But we'll go ahead and take a 1-minute break. On the other side of that break, we'll have more here in the second quarter. Shepherd 8, Southern Connecticut nothing. This is Shepherd Ranch football on TV 10.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs? Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
The Skinner family has been representing West Virginians for more than 50 years.
We've changed the name of our firm to Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers because we want to be clear about what we do. We represent people who have been in car, truck, and other catastrophic accidents.
We're here to be a voice for the injured and vulnerable, and we take that job seriously with deep commitment to serving our clients wherever they are.
Just Google Skinner Accident Lawyer or visit skinnerwins.com. We'll treat you like family.
So we welcome you back here as after the kickoff, and the PAT was good, so it is 9-0. Apologize there for saying the wrong score. But as we look back on it, just, a one-play drive, long touchdown run for Malachi Brown. Our scoring drive summaries are brought to you by John Hardy for Berkeley County Commission, a lifelong resident, local businessman, effective leader, and proven fiscal conservative. Vote John Hardy for Berkeley County Commissioner on November 5th.
Another dump-off pass that time for Ridley.
Apologize there, Travis. I turned Colin on. I meant to turn you on.
Oh, so you're blaming Colin again?
In some ways, yeah. But 7-yard gain. So Southern Connecticut has moved it to a 2nd down and 3.
Well, let's see if the touchdown kind of loosens things up. Maybe everybody was playing tight again. Season opener for both teams. They're still trying to iron out the kinks, and maybe that first touchdown to get to everybody is a loosen up some.
Short run there. Moves the ball across the 35-yard line. Should be good enough, though, for the first down for Southern Connecticut State. So 1st and 10 Owls, 12:30 left here in this first half between Shepherd and Southern Connecticut. Nick Verzolini alongside me, Travis Smith, here bringing you Shepherd Rams football on TV 10 and Comcast Channel 10 all season long. Again, we're doing the game from the studio, and on 1st down and 10, the Owls give it to Gray, and Gray has a big hole. And he gets it out toward midfield for another first down, Southern Connecticut. So they are starting to move the football a little bit more consistently, Travis, and things look pretty good right now for the Owls on this drive.
Running behind that big right tackle, Eric Suda Sr., the 6'6", 290 senior offensive lineman, just did a good job of sealing that defender off to the outside, and running back was able to do the rest, taking it inside and picking up a big gain.
Nice run there on 1st down. So the Owls moving the ball now into Ram territory to the 49-yard line. Southern Connecticut, again, they led the NE10 in passing yards and rushing yards last season with Keith Ridley at quarterback and Elijah Gray at running back. Both of them returned this year. But the Owls' offense only averaged 18 points per game despite the total yardage numbers. So 2nd down and 7, they're being shut out here by the Rams early second quarter, and Ridley dumps it down underneath, complete for the first down and out of bounds for the Owls on that far side. Pass is caught by, I couldn't quite tell, but I believe that was Villani there on the far side.
And Ridley rolling out to his offhand side, still able to deliver an accurate pass, leading as a receiver, so he didn't have to slow down too much to catch it. He was able to carry that momentum out of bounds.
So another first down here for Keith Ridley in the offense. 1st down and 10, and they'll go play action over the middle, tipped and nearly intercepted and then caught by a lineman. I'm not sure if he held it in, but wow.
There you go. He's been training for that his whole career. It's like, yes, I finally got one.
Everett Michalowski, the redshirt sophomore, 6'5", 315 pounds. And since it was deflected, if he did make the catch,
Not illegal.
He's able to catch it. Yeah, unlike on any non-deflection, unless he was illegally downfield, would be the only situation, which may be what they called here. I did see a conference, but I don't see now any movement of the ball, so it appears that they're just maybe we're making sure that it was tipped. But yeah, the Rams nearly got an interception, ends up being a short completion to an offensive lineman. So game's got a little bit of everything here early on. We've already got a safety, an offensive lineman catching the football, 3-yard gain, and Gray will run it and not go too far. Again, Batten coming in the corner, making plays around the line of scrimmage.
I was going to say, he's living in the backfield so far early on. Just a very aggressive player off the edge.
Yeah, you don't see that too often. I mean, we know Clayton Batten's coming off injury, so maybe it's just, hey, I get an opportunity to hit somebody. I'm going to take advantage of it.
And that was something, remember last year, like we're calling these games, and it was just, if he could just get out there on the field, it's just that one missing piece. And it was just, again, the injury bug just nagged him all year long. So you could certainly tell that he's hungry to get out there and make some plays this year.
3rd down and 6 for the Owls. 9:25 to go in this first half. Ridley will run it with Gray. Gray dancing in the backfield and brought down in the backfield. I believe that was Harold O'Neal leading the charge for the Rams, the inside linebacker.
And again, Gray's such a big part of this offense. Looking back to last season, nearly 1,000 yards rushing, averaging 5.7 yards a carry, had 5 touchdowns, also chipped in with 23 catches and 163 yards and a touchdown catch. So he is a versatile weapon out of the backfield, but so far having a lot of difficulty getting on track. Again, that speedy Rams defense has been gobbling him up quickly, not allowing him to break any type of long plays.
8:51 to go in the, or I'm sorry, now 8:44 to go in the second quarter. Ridley looking to throw, dumps it down to a wide open Gray out of the backfield. Gray takes it into Ram territory, 1st down and more before he's knocked out of bounds on the play by the Rams. Gio D. Tolbert.
Nice counterpunch that time by the Owls offense. Since that blitz coming in off the edge, Gray did a good job of slipping behind the defense. The quarterback able to hit him in stride and pick up one of their biggest plays of the game.
Ridley going play action, floats it and out of bounds. No one really in the area trying to just throw it away as I think they wanted their guy in the flat, but it wasn't there. So smart play by the veteran quarterback and reset the downs to 2nd down and 10.
And you can see the defense trying to lobby with the referees, saying that there was nobody over there in the vicinity, but quarterbacks, once they get out of the pocket, the referee is going to be a little bit more lenient, just trying to limit the amount of hard hits that your quarterback's going to take. But again, the defense said, hey, we're going to try.
2nd and 10 for the Owls. Ridley hands it off to his running back. Finds some decent yardage there on the carry. It's
like you're starting to see this running game pick up a little bit of traction, running up the middle like we mentioned. The Rams, not a very big unit up front. They do like to rotate, so maybe you catch one of those backups in, and the defense is starting to wear down. If you consistently stay with that run, and again, you're only down by 9. There's no reason to abandon the run. Still plenty of time in the game. You stick with it. You stick with that run game early on. It's like paying dividends, especially in the 4th quarter. Some of those shorter runs are going to start breaking into longer runs.
Quick moving second quarter as well. Already 7.5 minutes left. And Ridley looking to throw. Hands it off on 3rd and 4, and they'll run Gray, and Gray gets close to the sticks. Shepard came up and made that tackle on a pretty good looking run.
And again, just no push up front from that Owls offensive line. Just that Rams defensive unit, again, smaller unit, but they do such a good job of playing with leverage, getting their pads low and driving that offensive line back into the backfield. The running back's having to make 2 and 3 moves before he even gets back to the line of scrimmage. So you see why it's been difficult for Southern Connecticut State to get any type of consistent production out of the run game.
Ridley floats it incomplete on a 4th down and 2. And nobody home.
He had a wide open receiver on that play too. It looked like Jack Hennessy, number 44, the tight end in the backfield, a big target, 6'4", 250-pound junior, wide open behind the defense. And just Ridley, some type of miscommunication because the tight end was going more towards the corner, and it looks like the quarterback was expecting him to more work towards the back line. Again, you had an opportunity to punch it in, and opportunities have been hard to come by here early on.
And, I mean, I know it may feel a little bit deflating after a long drive like that to settle for a field goal, but a field goal makes it a touchdown game. So,
and you get something. You come away with something.
But instead they go for it, and they'll run the ball up the middle of Malachi Brown now to Shepard, and Brown's got another solid hole. Because all of a sudden you could be down 3 scores very easily with this Shepard offense. I mean, we know what they're capable of, even though they haven't looked super explosive here early on. If Powell can get it to the playmakers and they can get the ball in space, you never know what they could do, as Malachi Brown already had a long touchdown run to extend the Shepard lead. Then the extra point was good, as well as, of course, the safety to start the game. That's how we got 9 Rams points up there on the board. And here's Brown running again off the right side. And running well. Has the first down or very close to it.
And again, running behind that big H-back. Very similar to the play that Brown scored on. And now you're starting to see both teams having some consistent success running that football. This is the deepest that the Owls were able to get the ball into Shepherd's territory. Shepherd was able to live on Southern Connecticut State's side of the field in that first quarter.
Swinehart with a big hole. Swinehart toward the 30-yard line. And one thing that's been interesting to see, Travis, is we haven't seen so far Jordan Barnett, last year's number 2 back who really came on in the second half of the season. It's been all Brown and Swinehart, the VMI transfer.
Yeah, Barnett appeared in 8 games last year, had 635 yards, was averaging a whopping 7.3 yards per carry, had 7 touchdowns, and even started catching some out of the backfield, had 4 catches for 27 yards, so he was a big piece last year.
Swinehart again gets the carry here on 2nd and 1. Second quarter brought to you by the Brown Funeral Home and Cremations, Robert Fields & Sons, a family-owned full-service funeral home proudly serving our area since 1880, as well as Smallwood & Small Insurance in Martinsburg, your total insurance solution at 121 Administrative Drive. Call 304-263-3361. Yeah, I mean, we did hear a lot of good things about Swinehart. Barnett, I heard he slimmed down a little bit, got a little bit faster, so we heard good things about him as well, but so far, haven't seen him. First down and 10. Receiver goes in motion. They'll run Malachi Brown again. This time the hole is closed quickly by the Owls. And Southern Connecticut pushes them back.
Right now, you see the strength up front of that Rams offensive line. Malachi Brown was able to go about 2 or 3 yards before that first defender was able to get their hand on him. Just a good push up front from that Rams offensive line. And talking about Swinehart kind of reminds me of Chance Schwartz on the team a couple years ago, transferred over from Lock Haven and had a good career for Lock Haven despite their record not matching his production. So Swinehart just looks the part.
Play action pass, Powell under some heat. Having to get rid of it now on a 2nd and 6. As it seemed like that hole had closed quickly for Brown, but he did get 4 yards on that previous run. Will now be 3rd down after we saw, of course, Karan Walker come up and make that tackle against Malachi, and then some pressure coming from Southern Connecticut State. And it's going to be a 3rd down for Lech Powell, and we really haven't seen the passing game be effective at all here early on, Travis, and there is a penalty on the play as well. So we'll see if this goes against the Owls.
Looks like it goes against the Owls. I'm not sure what the call was, but I know there was a big hit on the quarterback.
Could have been a roughing.
And that's what I'm thinking, because one of the offensive linemen went back there, and that's what you do. You protect your quarterback. And again, in a nip and tuck game the way it's been so far, a 15-yard penalty is huge. Not only do you get the field position from a personal foul, you also get a fresh set of downs, and you get a little bit of momentum on your side.
Yeah, it would have been a 3rd and 6 for an offense that struggled to throw the football here so far in Shepherd. But instead it's a 1st and 10 from midfield with 3:39 left in this first half. And Lech Powell in the shotgun. They will run Malachi Brown. This time he only gets about a yard before he's stopped. Walker again in on that tackle for the Owls. This is the Owls defense that brings back its entire front 3 on the defensive line. And Galloway, Gamble, and Magalozzi.
And they just have good linebackers. Of the years that we've watched Shepherd play this Southern Connecticut State team, they have good linebackers. They pride themselves on going out and recruiting a certain type of player, hard-nosed, ball hawks, and you can certainly see that they do a good job of developing those young men.
So they're listed at 2nd and 10, and this time Malachi has some more room. Gets out to about the 46-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and manageable. And we know the Rams, again, they have a lot coming back in terms of wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, even offensive line. But can Lech Powell step up in these kind of situations 3rd and 6. Cordell Badden's running on the field. Jeremiah Taylor as well. It'll be a 3-receiver set with Brian Jester, the tight end, lined up in the slot as well. Barry Hill is the far wide receiver. And Malachi Brown is the back to the left of Powell. And before we see anything, we'll get a timeout. We'll take a 30-second break as well. 9-0 Rams. Just over 2 minutes left in this second quarter. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
After a car accident, what do you get when you call Mansion Ferretti?
You get more experience from a local law firm with over 115 years of combined service.
More respect from a team who treats clients like their own family.
And more fight, because we want you to get every dollar you deserve.
Experience, respect, results. If you've been injured, that's what you want in your lawyer.
And that's what you'll get when you call us. Car accident? Get more with Mansion Ferretti. 304-264-8505.
We welcome you back here to Shepherd, Southern Connecticut State. Rams lead at 9-0. 3rd down and 6, Travis, and we'll most likely see a situation where you're going to think that the Rams are going to have to be forced to throw the football. What you've seen from Lech Powell so far, what are some things you think he could work on in the early part of the game?
I think he needs to take a breath. I think he's playing really tight. Like, he's surrounded by veteran quality players. I think he just needs to relax a little bit and just kind of settle into a groove. And at this point in the game, this could be 2-down territory. You really don't have to try to get it all back on this. You still have a couple timeouts tucked away. Your defense has been playing lights out. Play for that short 4th down play, and that way you won't have to try to pull off a tough 3rd down.
3rd and 6. Powell over the middle, wide open. Malachi Brown in stride. He has the first down and more. Brown spinning all the way down to the 15. And the Rams are right back. Just great play design there to get Malachi Brown the ball in space. Playmaker, easy pass for your quarterback as well. And Powell threw a bullet.
And again, it was simple pitch and catch. You have your outside wide receivers. They're just running everybody off. They know that the Rams have good wide receivers, so they're not going to want to get beat deep here and late in the first half. So they're going to play a zone, and then you just get Malachi Brown coming out of the backfield on that angle route where he just goes right outside the tackle, and then he bends it right back over the middle. That's going to be tough for any linebacker to try to check him in space. And that time you can see that Al's defender not able to answer the call, and Malachi Brown able to catch the ball and do something that those Al offensive players have been able to do, make something happen after the catch.
So far, it's been a great game for Brown here in week number 1 against the Southern Connecticut State Owls. We return with more Shepherd football for you next week as the Rams play their home opener, and it's a big game against ranked Slippery Rock. Should be a tough one, should be a fun game between those two programs to open up your PSAC schedule. So Shepherd would love a road win to start the season against the Southern Connecticut team that played a very tight one with the Rams just a year ago. Of course, it's Thursday night, so most of the PSAC, if they haven't kicked off already, will kick off on Saturday for the first time this season. I believe there was a game or two last week in the PSAC, but nothing too thrilling. I want to say it was like a Lockhaven or something. Bloomsburg. But hey, Bloomsburg beat the Rams last year.
Yeah.
Here's Swinehart. Nice run there. Beautiful spin move and turns into a big run. Definitely seeing some good things from the VMI product, who had 5 touchdowns last year at Division I VMI. So certainly brings some good experience. And, of course, offensive coordinator Tom Clark with that pipeline now of having some familiarity with those VMI players. And, of course, Seth Morgan, I'm sure, gave a good recommendation if he was asked. 2nd down and 4. Minute 30 left. First half. Powell takes the snap, hands it off. Another big run, and Brown that time gets close to the sticks. Yeah, it was a good tackle, but that was kind of the type of hit that last year he might have fumbled on that kind of run. So that was good to see him hold on to the ball.
Because you would naturally think he's converting from wide receiver to running back, so you would think that the fumbles are a product. Maybe the physicality isn't what it needs to be at the running back position. That's certainly not the case with Malachi Brown. Does not shy away from contact. It just comes down to just a fundamental technique. He lets the ball get away from his body, and that time just gets a little overextended. His feet slide out from underneath of him as he comes up. I don't know, was he able to get it? Looks from that spot. I don't know if he was able to get to that spot. It's going to be close.
It's going to be very close. I think they are going to mark him about a half yard short here on 4th down. Shepard, we'll see if they do in fact go for it. I feel like you have to in this situation with your veteran offensive line. I think they're going to take a timeout here first, though, to talk it over.
You have no reason not to. Your defense has been playing great. You got a freshman kicker, so you really don't want to put him out there and have the potential for a big play in favor of the Owls. So you keep that veteran O-line out there. You keep those veteran running backs out there, and you take what you can get. But back to Malachi Brown, you look back to why was he having these fumbling problems. If you just look at the Shepherd website, some of the pictures that they show him, his biggest problem, he lets the ball get out away from his body. Most running back coaches are really going to preach to you that you have to have no daylight between you and that football. You also want to keep 5 points of contact, keep it high and tight, and look like the ball's going to be a little bit short as Malachi Brown lost his footing trying to cut back into the hole. But, yeah, that was his only knock. I mean, he has so many good things that he brings to the table, but that's a cardinal sin as a running back is if you're putting the ball on the ground and you see the way it's going to be a struggle for big plays here early on at least, you really can't afford to turn the ball over like that with this offense, still trying to find themselves.
4th down and 1, just 35 seconds to go before the half. Shepard was not charged a timeout. It was I don't believe, at least it should be a referee timeout here. But on 4th and 1, they go with the QB sneak, and Powell gets it easily.
Big push up front. That has been the clear difference so far in today's game, just the strength up front of that Rams offensive line. Like, they are creating space. Those Rams running backs, and that time Powell, the quarterback, they're able to get 2 and 3 yards before those defenders are able to get a hand on them. So just credit that offensive line up front. The big uglies are doing their job and creating space.
So just 32 seconds to go here before the end of the half. Shepard this time will burn that timeout, and they got a fresh set of downs here, Travis. Obviously running low on time. You do still, I believe, have one more timeout, depending on how they ruled that measurement or not, but I think that should have just been an official's timeout. So 9-0 Shepard here, and just 32 seconds left, but this has been obviously the best drive of the day. You did have the long touchdown run from Malachi, but this is good to see. Shepard moving the football, running the ball, even getting the passes when they've had to as well.
Yeah, seeing Powell take that check down to Malachi Brown, I think it's going to be those type of plays that's going to allow him to settle down, have the game slow down for him, and you can see him start to make some more plays down the field, and more importantly, start getting the ball in the hands of his wide receivers.
So the Rams will come out in the shotgun. That's Baden there in the slot, and Baden and Hill in the slot as well as Taylor. 3 receivers to the right. They look for Jeremiah Taylor. He caught it. He runs a man over, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Shepard. Well-executed play underneath. You get the blockers in front from the slot receivers. Taylor, your big body receiver, gets open, makes the catch, and then powers his way through for the touchdown, Shepard. And it's 15-0 now. Rams on top with 26 seconds to go before halftime, and it's Lech Powell's first touchdown pass of the season.
And you see what the Rams did on that play? They went max protect up front. They kept the tight end in. They kept the running back in, giving their quarterback some extra time, and he looked comfortable, delivered the ball on time, and the wide receiver was able to do the rest.
Extra point is up and good. So we'll head to not halftime yet, but we'll take another minute break with 26 seconds left right before the half. 16-0 Shepard. This is Shepard Rams football on TV 10.
Life is evolving. Over the past decade, the way we do almost everything has changed. Get on your phone, see something you like, click on it, and it shows up at your door. Why should the way you have your car serviced be any different? Why waste your time going to a dealership service department when Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to you? They service all makes, all models, and offer full parts and labor warranties. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet will come to your door or office and service your vehicle while you're doing what you need to be doing, conducting that business meeting or mowing the lawn. Why take time out of your busy schedule when you don't have to? Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet's friendly, knowledgeable staff will come to you where you live or where you work for full service maintenance, from oil changes to tire rotations, brakes, batteries, multi-point inspections. They handle it all. Hagerstown Ford and Hancock Chevrolet is committed to delivering the best of the best to their customers. Trust them to service your vehicle where you're at home or at work. Skip the time-consuming and terminal wait at the dealership. Schedule your appointment at fordofhagerstown.com or hancockchevy.com.
We welcome you back here to Shepherd Rams football on TV 10. Nick Verzolini alongside me, Dylan Bishop. Colin McLaughlin, our producer. I'm sorry, Travis Smith. Where did I get Dylan Bishop from? I don't know.
I thought we had a special guest coming in today.
On the kickoff return for the Owls, they get it out to about the 27. I guess I thought I was doing the show, you know.
You're already in midseason form. That's what that is.
I suppose. I don't know. But, Travis, you are here. No Dylan tonight. He got the night off. Didn't really need him, I guess. But Colin's here. That's good. And we got 1st and 10 here. 22 seconds left before halftime. And Travis will see how aggressive the Owls are. With only 22 seconds left to go in the half, and it looks like Ridley is going to come out and try to throw it. Dumps it down underneath to Gray. Gray does what he can, but Shepherd all around it. Cole Scott in on that tackle for the Rams. And they may have time for one more play here before the half. Only a few seconds left. They may not get it off in time, and they won't. So we head to halftime. 16-0 Shepherd. We'll take a 2-minute break on the other side of that break, we'll have the Mansion Freddy halftime show. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10, and not on YouTube today, just on TV 10.
After a car accident, what do you get when you call Mansion Ferretti?
You get more experience from a local law firm with over 115 years of combined service.
More respect from a team who treats clients like their own family.
And more fight, because we want you to get every dollar you deserve.
Experience, respect, results. If you've been injured, that's what you want in your lawyer.
And that's what you'll get when you call us. Car accident? Get more with Mansion Ferretti. 304-264-8505.
Hey, it's Cody from Cody's Auto Body.
You're a potty mouth.
But we do a really great job fixing cars after an accident.
I know, but you're still a potty mouth.
I'm possibly the best friend you could ever have.
You are, but potty mouth.
If you need your car repaired, come to Cody's Auto Body, located at 851 Wilson Street in Martinsburg. Because that's Cody's with a T for f***ing trust.
See? Potty mouth.
Leave me alone.
Providing reliable protection since 1877, we are Farmers and Mechanic Insurance Companies. For over a century, we have been dedicated to provide dependable insurance protection and excellent customer service. We specialize in auto, home, farm, and business insurance. Our products are backed with personal, hands-on service. You can trust us to protect what matters most to you. For all of your insurance needs, there's Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies.
We're at the half. Time for a scoring recap, stats and analysis, scores from around the PSAC and Super Region 1, the Division 1 Top 25, and the latest on the West Virginia University Mountaineers and Marshall University Thundering Herd. Let's get it started as we go back to the field and rejoin our TV 10 broadcast team.
Again, we're here in studio for Shepherd Rams football on TV 10 as Rams taking on Southern Connecticut State. We did not make the trip to Southern Connecticut as Flow Sports had streaming rights, and we were granted permission to take their stream and do the game that way, but we were not granted permission to do our own stream. So here we are. Travis, at the half, it was an exciting first half of action. Shepherd goes up 16-0. It took a little bit, though, for the Rams to get it going, but once they did, things really looked good toward the end of that first half. Had the big Malachi Brown touchdown run, and Lech Powell started to settle in, and the Rams We're up here at the half 16-0. So overall, I think if you're a Shepherd fan, you're pretty happy with it considering this has been a transitional season and you are going into a new era quarterback, but you do return a lot from last year, so you're still seeing some of the things that you would expect.
Absolutely, and coming in, we figured the defense was going to play a big role. They set the tone early, got on the board first, really backing up that Owls offense, forcing them to try to punt out of their own end zone. That resulted in a safety, and again, that defense really set the tone. Then you look over to the offensive side of the ball, you realize that Lek Powell, even though he has been in the system, in the program for a number of years, it is still a big jump going from holding a clipboard on the sidelines to going out there and being the man in the huddle, leading your team out there on the field. He played a little bit tight, but like we mentioned, he has veterans around him, and that allowed him to get settled in at his own pace. And you saw by the end of the first half, he was able to lead his team on the drive, complete a couple passes, get some consistency going, and most importantly, get a little bit of confidence going into the half. But the running game has showed up huge. The offensive line is just imposing their will here early on. I think, to me, that's been one of the biggest stories so far this game is just that Rams offensive line. We knew it was going to be a veteran group, but they've really come out there, and they've been bullies out there on the field today. So you have to be happy if you're a Rams fan to see that the way that offensive line has really been able to set the tone. Malachi Brown's been able to really impose his will on the game, running and catching the ball. We know he's that type of threat coming out of the backfield, and so far all those things are beginning to click for that Rams offense. And again, it's just small stuff, this small timing plays that they haven't been able to hit, but that's something that you expect here early on, first game of the season, and it's an odd start. You're starting at 6 o'clock on a Thursday, so athletes are just creatures of routine. So once you get them out of that routine, you can see sometimes the small things might not fall into place. But as that first half wore on, you saw them get into a bit of a comfort zone and, more importantly, get some confidence going.
Halftime is brought to you by the Mansion Freddie Law Firm in Martinsburg, where it's about seeking justice for you. Go to wvjusticelawyers.com. Let's take a look at some first half stats. We'll start with the Shepherd offense. Lek Powell ends up finishing the half 6 for 10. So it's going to look all right, but only 53 yards. Did have the 21-yard completion to Malachi Brown. 1 touchdown in that first half as well. Overall, pretty solid. Receiving numbers, Malachi Brown, 3 catches, 26 yards, leads the way. Jeremiah Taylor, who had that touchdown right before the half, 2 catches, 17 yards. Jack Rosnage involved as well with 1 catch for 10 yards. On the ground, the Rams had really good success. 11 carries for Brown, 88 yards and a touchdown, including that 55-yard touchdown run. Swinehart, 5 carries for 24 yards, and Lek Powell ran it twice for 6 yards. Defensively for Shepherd, Carroll led the way in first half tackles with 5. Ben had 4, O'Neal had 3, Lockhart had 3, Greer had 3, Kuokua had 3, and Yaokome had 3 to lead the way for Shepherd. For Southern Connecticut State offensively, again, it's going to look pretty good when you look at the numbers, just no points to show for it. 11 and 16 for Ridley. 80 yards passing isn't the best, but again, 68% on those completions. Gray had 3 catches for 31 yards, so that's, again, where you're getting the majority of that production is a dump down to your running back. You did have Lawns of 20 and 16 there from Southern Connecticut as well. Gray on the ground ran the ball 11 times for just 23 yards, so as long as Shepherd can keep him in check, it feels like they'll be all right in the second half, Travis.
Yeah, like we mentioned, Gray averaging 5.7 yards per carry last year has not had that success here early on. And again, that Rams defense, they're just smothering him. Every time he gets the ball, they're not even worried about the fake. I think they're of the standpoint that Ridley's going to have to beat us. They're not going to let Gray beat them. They're really not worried about what Ridley can do with the ball, which, you know, it's a pretty bold statement. You got a quarterback that's 6'4", 230. You figure he can rumble a little bit, but that Rams defense, not concerned with him, really focused in on Gray. And so far, it has been successful, shutting them out. Ridley missing an open pass and one of their best drives, one of their deepest drives into Shepherd territory, had an open receiver in the back of the end zone, and just a little miscommunication. You could chalk it up to first game jitters, but thinking the guy was going to go inside, the guy went outside, and again, a miscue winds up with no points. And again, now you're looking back at it, that field goal really would have been huge. You would have had something to kind of hang your hat on, be like, okay, we can get points, we can have success, but you took a big swing and you had a big miss.
First Half Stats brought to you by Always VIP Northside, the best local spot to catch sports or hang out with friends. Stop by 36 Veronica Drive in Martinsburg. Ollie's VIP will see you for the game. All right, we'll take another 2-minute break. Come back. We'll have a little bit more here on the halftime show, but this is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, trip nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
Drive More Days is back at Carter Myers Automotive, and this year we'll keep you rolling with a $1,000 gas card. Visit any of our locations to take a test drive, and we'll enter you into a drawing to win a $1,000 gas card. With that kind of money, fill up at the pump for the rest of the year, completely on us. Stop in during Drive More Days for your chance to win a $1,000 gas card, only at Carter Myers Automotive. Owners just care more.
Mommy, where does flavor come from?
Well, when people love food, they cook it on a Traeger grill. Meat, corn, even pie. And then the Traeger does the rest, which brings everyone to celebrate this beautiful thing that they've created. Because when you share delicious food with your friends, that's the flavor of life.
Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
I'm John Doyle. I'm running for the state Senate in the 16th Senatorial District. I served in the House of Delegates, and I think you can see by my record that I stand for clean air and clean water and good public schools. And I want to restore reproductive freedom for the women of West Virginia. I served in the United States Army in Vietnam, and I'm a graduate of Shepherd University. And I ask for your vote on November 5th. Authorized by Doyle for the Eastern Panhandle. Alan Sturm, Treasurer.
You're not on, so don't yell at me.
Am I on now?
Yeah.
I will bring up my camera then.
We have pizza, apparently, for Philip. Did they pay for the pizza?
I didn't get that message.
Go find that out.
Okay.
And then, give
turn
him
me
a
off
tip
then.
if he needs one.
I will definitely do that.
There we go.
Yeah.
But
It's confusing time. So.
Hey, I don't know. I mean, hey, wrong address, whatever it is. If the pizza's paid for, we'll take it.
I am hungry. I haven't ate.
Yeah.
You guys did.
You got anything for a tip? I got a 5.
I think so.
So I'll throw that in.
That's nice of you.
There we go. Hold on. Not to be outdone.
I got a 10, and a 5. There we go.
Yeah, that's
a pretty good tip.
Yeah, I'll take it.
There we go.
But Colin, go ahead and figure that out.
Okay.
And we'll just keep rolling here at the half. 16-0. Shepherd, this is live TV for you, people. We're tipping the pizza, man.
People showing up with pizzas, At this point, it's a tradition.
It did sound like the same name, if I'm remembering correctly. So I think it is just somebody was like, hey, they're back in the studio. I'm going to get them a pizza.
Okay. A modus operandi right there.
And we certainly appreciate a Miss Miller out there. So thank you. But in terms of the game, so far, Shepherd is earning themselves a pizza party afterwards of a 16-0 lead. And
they hold up the shutout. They might get some donuts.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, things are looking good, Travis. What do you think will be some keys for the second half?
I can see that Shepherd, if they're going to ask Lek Powell to start throwing the ball more, I think they might use a little bit more of that max protect. That touchdown pass, they went to a max protection look where he really only had to read one half of the field. So they're doing things that are really putting the ball in an advantageous position for Lek Powell. only having him read one half of the field, giving him max protection so he has a little bit of time, he can get into a rhythm and throw that ball. The running game has been doing well. I still think that you stick with that because the offensive line has just been beating them up front. Malachi Brown is just a threat to take it. So you see things really starting to turn on the offensive side of the ball. And as far as the defense, they're just going to keep harassing and just running down all of the receivers and ball carriers for Southern Connecticut State. Right now, the defense for the Rams they've been as good as advertised. We knew that was going to be one of their strengths coming into the season, and they have certainly lived up to that billing.
What is a little bit difficult right now is we don't know exactly how much time is left on that halftime clock. But it is looking like the players are starting to retake the field, get some stretches in here at 16-0 Shepherd at the half. Any other thoughts before we head to another break here, Travis, about maybe some things the Rams could do?
Just keep doing what they're doing. Maybe at one point in time, maybe if their drive gets bogged down, try to give the freshman kicker an opportunity to try to knock in a field goal because you got a little bit of breathing room, so you may not have to force it once you get down there low. So maybe give him an opportunity to get some confidence going. That one kick, it was a low snap on an extra point, and he was able to dig it out of the turf and knock it through. So you see that he's able to make plays on the fly pretty good as far as the extra points, which is very important. But maybe give him an opportunity to kick a field goal here sometime in the second half if the opportunity arises.
What's up, Colin?
You want to do a scoreboard? We got some other games in the
yeah, go
conference.
ahead. Give us a quick scoreboard.
Yeah, there's a good bit of games going on in the PSAC tonight as well. It looks like at halftime already or end of the first. No, looks like halftime. It's Bloomsburg leading Fairmont State 21-7. You also have Clarion at the half with Lincoln. Clarion leads it 13-0. And then in the first quarter, it is Pace taking on East Stroudsburg. That is a 6-3 Pace lead. In the first, IUP leads Ashland 7-0 with 7:37 left in quarter number one. 6:49 left in the first quarter for Frostburg State. They lead Millersville 6-0. And then getting underway is Northwood at Gannon. That's still scoreless 3 minutes in. Also 3 minutes in, it's Ohio Dominican at Seton Hill. That is scoreless. And then kicking off in about 9 minutes, it's Assumption at Kutztown today in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Also, shout out to Phillip ordering us Domino's Pizza. That was the big confusion. Phillip ordered it for us.
Okay.
So.
Right on, Phillip. Thank you.
Thank you, Phillip.
Smelling good. Has the studio smelling good.
It does.
Yeah. We'll definitely hit well after the end of this one. But let's go ahead and take a 1 minute break just to make sure we get the second half kickoff in. And when we come back, we'll have more Shepherd Rams football here for you on TV 10.
When will I be able to retire? How do I make the most of the money I have? How can I leave a lasting legacy to my loved ones? I'm John Everson, private wealth advisor with the Mirius Group, a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated. Call us today at 304-263-4343 to help you make the most of your financial future. Our office is located at 1270 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, West Virginia.
Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
Drive More Days is back at Carter Myers Automotive. And this year, we'll keep you rolling with a $1,000 gas card. Visit any of our locations to take a test drive, and we'll enter you into a drawing to win a $1,000 gas card. With that kind of money, fill up at the pump for the rest of the year, completely on us. Stop in during Drive More Days for your chance to win a $1,000 gas card. Only at Carter Myers Automotive. Owners just care more.
Colin, I think you should be able to bring the game back. Looks like we got at least something better to look at than me. But 16-0 here, third
That's
quarter.
just your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it is just my opinion, but I mean, I don't know. You can look at the Rams, or I guess you're looking at the Owls, but Either way, it's a little bit more exciting. But thank you, Colin, I guess, for not feeling that I'm the worst thing to look at. But anyway, third quarter here as we get ready for the second half kickoff, which is brought to you by the personal injury attorneys Burke, Schultz, Harmon, and Jenkinson. Visit burkeandschultz.com. Did you want the mic on?
I was just going to say, for the record, I was just stating that it was your opinion. I did not say whether or not I share with your opinion.
That's fair, yeah.
Your girlfriend definitely doesn't.
I would think not, yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, you're
Goodbye.
muted. Goodbye. But Travis, back to football. Southern Connecticut here obviously didn't really have the first half they wanted overall, but they did move the ball a few times. They also had some tough field position, so I think that's going to be key as well in the second half for them to be able to flip the field a little bit on Shepherd, maybe put some challenging field position for them, because the Rams definitely dominated in terms of having good places to start drives, which when you have a young starting quarterback, I think that's important as well.
You look at, and it was just the opposite for the Owls. A lot of times the ball was nearly touching the goal line when they had to go out there and start their offense. That's tough to get any type of rhythm going when you're out there just looking to get a little bit of space for your punter, and wind up coming back to bite them when the ball goes out of the back of the end zone, and they were kind of behind the 8 ball at that point. Again, 16 points is not an insurmountable lead. They do have talent on the offensive side of the ball. They really haven't tried to challenge the Rams deep, but that's something you look at their Rams defense. They have been able to get some pressure and force the quarterback out of the pocket. So that has been a big question that has been answered by that defense so far. But again, the Owls, good running game. They were making some plays here and there, had an opportunity to score in that first half, whether they would have connected on that touchdown pass that went out the back of the end zone, or just settle for that field goal to get something. I just think early on, tough opponent, you're at home. I just think you have to get some points on the board so everybody can breathe a little bit easier and get some confidence going. I think by not going for that field goal, you really kind of made that group tighten up that much more, because they swung and they missed. Now they come out in the second half. They can make some adjustments. I think it's just going to be tough to get Gray on track, so it's going to have to be some type of play action pass, and they've done a good job of doing that zone read fake and hitting that pop pass down the middle. So that might be something that they look to try to get to early on here and try to get ahead of the chains, as opposed to playing behind the chains where they did most of the first half.
Rams lead the Owls here at the half 16-0. So it will be Shepherd football as well to start this second half. So a great opportunity to possibly extend this lead. The Rams do lead the all-time series in just their 2 matchups, 2-0. Another kind of interesting thing is that Shepherd has only won once on September 5th during their 4 games of play. All those games have been on the road. 2 losses to Shippensburg in the 90s, a loss to Bowie State, and then a win over Wesleyan in 2015. So on this date, they've had their struggles. But another thing, I believe these uniforms last year were not good for the Rams. Just some random things to look at here that the game notes provide us. Yeah, the white jersey with the blue pants was 2-2. So
that's way too much time on your hands when you're breaking. That's just analytics just run amok at that point when you're looking at jersey combinations and the outcomes of games.
Right. It might mean something. I don't know.
Well, early in the season, you're looking for anything. You're looking for any kind of stat to try to work on. So I can't blame them for doing that either.
Yeah. Colin and I were hoping for the Shepherdstown, the Ghost of Shepherdstown uniforms, the all grays, but didn't get those this week. Maybe we'll see them at home or maybe on the road again later in the year.
Break out something special. Slippery Rock's coming to town. You're going to need some extra juice out there.
That's true. They are apparently the favorite uniform of the team. Learned that from Wyatt Pelicano. So something I didn't know. Miles Greer on the kick return here for the Rams, and looks to be a solid return. Still going over there on that far side, but brought down around the 26, 27-yard line. So see the Rams offense back out on the field. Actually, I think that was Cam Dorner on the return, not Miles Greer. So both of them go back on those kickoffs. And, of course, Dorner, have yet to see him get involved in the offense too much, which is a little bit surprising. But we know the wide receiver position. I mean, you have about 4 guys that can play a big role for them at any time, and Dorner is one of those guys. He had some injury issues last year, but when he was healthy,
had an impact.
Was an extremely explosive receiver. We have him where we see him here on the near side, now wearing the number 3, opposed to his previous 81. Here's a play action from Leck Powell looking deep down the far side for Dorner, and he caught it in stride and throws a man down on the other side of the field. There's Cam Dorner with a big play, his first catch of the season.
And that was a money play for Shepherd last year, that post wheel action. You have that 2 wide receiver look. That outside wide receiver runs a deep post. You have to respect his speed as he's threatening you over the middle. And then that inside wide receiver is able to get out on the edge and get vertical. And again, Cameron Dorner, one of the bigger targets in that wide receiver room. In 8 games of action last year, did have 33 catches for 466 yards and 5 touchdowns. So he doesn't need a lot of looks to have a big impact on the game.
Powell eventually handed off on this possession, as it appears I'm a little bit ahead, so I'll wait to catch up with you guys. But just a short run here for Shepherd. Gain about 4 on the play.
There you go. And again, just let that offensive lineman just lean on that defensive front. You stay ahead of the chains. You keep your offense on schedule, and you keep your quarterback out of a difficult situation by running like that early on. You get 3 and 4 yards on first down, you'll take that all day long.
So 2nd and 6 for the Rams now after the 4-yard carry. Leck Powell looking confident at the line of scrimmage, adjusting some calls at the line. And on 2nd and 6, they'll hand it to Malachi again, and gets about 2 down to the 35-yard line. Southern Connecticut coming up and making the stop.
And you see the maturation that time by Malachi Brown. It looked like it might have been a little bit of an open gap to the outside, but he stayed on midline, pounded it down the middle, didn't go for the big home run play, go for those hard-earned, hard-fought yards. And again, you pick up something positive each and every play.
So just about a yard on the run, 3rd and 5. Powell looking to throw. Looks deep corner, jump ball, knocked around and incomplete. Intended for Cordell Batten. Bring up a 4th down and 5.
Just a little bit late on that throw. Allowed the defender just that half a step to get in there and break it up. But again, we talked about that. The very similar look to when they scored that touchdown at the end of the first half. A 3 wide receiver set. You have max protect in the box. You keep your tight end in. You keep your running back in. And that quarterback only has to read one half of the field. He was just a little bit late in getting that ball out of his hands.
And we'll see here if Shepherd does run a play. They do. Wasn't sure if Powell might punt it there. And they're just slinging it to Brown. It's in and out of his hands, incomplete.
The ball just jumped on top of Brown a little bit quicker than he anticipated. He didn't get his head around. I don't think he was anticipating the pass to come out quite that fast, but he was doing it again, running that angle route, coming back over the middle, and Powell was ready to get rid of it. Malachi Brown, not too often where the ball surprises him.
3rd quarter is brought to you by Parsons Ford of Martinsburg, located at 1400 Shepherdstown Road and online at parsonsford.com. They became number 1 by making you number 1 first. Parsons, as well as, of course, Smallwood and Small Insurance. Is here on the run. It's Gray up the middle, and Jack Baxter eats him up after a short gain, maybe no gain on the play. And Smallwood and Small Insurance and Martinsburg Total Insurance Solution at 121 Administrative Drive. Call 304-263-3361. Hey, this is the view that we've needed all game. This view that we got now is way better. It's a little bit wider. A little bit clearer. Where's this been?
I give all the credit to Colin. I think he sent word up there, and they fixed it up.
Yeah, I like this. Dump down pass here underneath, complete.
Yeah, we can see jersey numbers.
Yeah, no, this is a lot better, isn't it?
We're living the high life now.
Seth Westover hauls in that catch. Bring up a 3rd and 5.
And again, big 3rd down. They've had their difficulties just picking up 3rd down, moving the ball. They've been stuck on their side of the field for most of the game today.
Rams again showing some blitz.
Ooh.
And nearly intercepted, but it's hauled in for a first down, I believe.
It was right at the sticks. Who was that made a play on the ball? Did a good job. That was Greer making a play on the ball. Again, just a dynamic, fun player to watch. Whether it's defense or special teams, he's going to make some plays. In 11 games last year, had 43 tackles, 28 of those solo, had an interception, 3 pass breakups, had a forced fumble, a fumble recovery. Also in special teams, 20 punt returns for 375 yards and a touchdown versus Southern Connecticut State last year. Not all in one game. That would be crazy.
No gain on that first down run. Well, maybe a gain of a yard, but not a whole lot of room there as the Rams defense holds up strong.
And that's really what's been killing the Owls so far today, is that they have been playing from behind the chains all day long. They're not winning on first down. And when you're coming up and those 2nd and 10s just keep hitting you, you just feel like you're in handcuffs because you want to pass, but then you don't want to risk facing a 3rd and long, especially with that Rams defensive front being so disruptive as they have been so far today. So, again, just been behind the 8 ball all day long, and just hats off to that Rams defense for keeping that pressure on them.
Ridley looking to throw here on 2nd and 9. Again, Shepard showing some pressure. They bring just 4. Ridley dumps it down underneath, complete. And trying to get to the sticks there for Southern Connecticut.
He had blockers. He was trying to go. You're not going to get it all back in one shot. You had blockers in front of you. Run to the sticks. You got to have that awareness of where you are as far as down and distance. He had blockers out in front. He was going for the big play as opposed to the first down play. You're not going to get it all back in one shot.
Instead, it brings up a 3rd and 1. Ridley will go Gray. Gray pushing forward. Didn't look like he got it initially, but I believe that second effort should be enough for the first down.
That's a generous spot.
It is going to be a little bit of a generous spot, but yeah, it looked like Shepard came flying in initially, but instead they'll move the chains and give Gray that first down. Again, he's 5'8", 215 pounds, tough guy to bring down, physical runner.
I'll say that's a bowling ball.
Yeah.
All that is knees, elbows, and shoulder pads, and none of that is fun to tackle. And hats off to that Owls offensive line. That time, they got a good push up front, and they were able to get that Rams defensive line back on their heels a little bit, able to pick up that hard-earned first down.
And looks like a timeout coming from Southern Connecticut State.
That stings. You got some momentum going, you get that first down, and you call that a timeout. So hopefully it was something where you feel like you might see something and you want to get a play in, but hopefully it wasn't anything where there was a miscommunication. You just didn't want something blowing up in your face, but that stings to burn a timeout this early in the second half.
We'll take a 30-second break. When we come back, we'll have more Rams football. 8:45 to go in the third quarter, 16-0 Shepherd. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
Hey, it's Cody from Cody's Auto Body.
You're a potty mouth.
But we do a really great job fixing cars after an accident.
I know, but you're still a potty mouth.
I'm possibly the best friend you could ever have.
You are, but potty mouth.
If you need your car repaired, come to Cody's Auto Body, located at 851 Wilson Street in Martinsburg. Because that's Cody's with a T for f***ing trust.
See? Potty mouth.
Leave me alone.
All right, welcome back. First down play, not much doing. Ridley dropped back, thought he saw something down the field, pump fake, pulled it back down. But again, just coming up with nearly nothing on first down. This Rams defense has just been dominant on first downs tonight.
Yeah, here we go. 2nd down and 10. Ridley looking to throw under some pressure and throws it incomplete. Great catch there on the near side by Villani. Or was that Westover? Yeah.
Yep. Seth Westover, the 6'1", 180-pound junior wide receiver. And again, you look at the Owls, they just get no yak. They get nothing after the catch, and that's just so hard to live by. If you're not getting anything, especially when you're taking these high percentage throws underneath, you're doing it in hopes of somebody breaking a tackle or somebody making somebody miss, and you're getting more.
Yeah, I think in particular in this matchup, as we have a 3rd and 4, Ridley under some heat, escapes the sack, throws it downfield and incomplete in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. In this matchup in particular, you have the speed and athleticism advantage going to Shepard, clearly. So it's going to be tough, I feel like, for them to get those yards after the catch, even though that is, I guess, what the offense is almost designed to do. And now it's a 4th and 5, so looks like they're going to be forced to punt it, even though they are in Shepard territory, down by 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions as well. So.
And if that's the reality that you're facing, then you need to use those short dinks and dunks underneath to set up some type of long shot over the top. If you're not getting those runs after catch, then you need to try to manufacture it by setting up those wrong plays. And it just seemed like they're content to take things underneath and just hoping that they're going to break something. But so far, we've seen 3 quarters of football, and that's not the case. So you got to try to set something up over the top, where maybe it might be like a hitch and go or something to that effect, where you're trying to get a big play to spring over the top, because right now you're not getting enough. You're not going to be able to thrive or survive just taking by what the defense is giving you, because right now the defense has you in a stranglehold.
I thought that would be Southern Connecticut's 2nd timeout called, but they reset the timeouts on our scoreboard here. Obviously, we're not at the stadium, so we don't know what the stadium has. But unless, of course, we're missing something, it should be just 1 timeout remaining, I believe, for the Owls if they did, in fact, burn one earlier. So unless there was an injury or something that we missed, I'm a little confused. But anyway, if you did just burn your 2nd timeout, it would be pretty costly to burn one on a punt. To burn it on the punt anyway is not the best. But 4th and 5, hard to tell what happened on that punt as well from our camera angle, but I think it went out of bounds at the 1-yard line, or was downed at the 1. So either way, Shepard's going to have very tough field position. We talked about this at halftime as well, Travis. How does Southern Connecticut flip the field a little bit, put Shepard in some of those tough situations that they were in that first half, and here's one of them.
You pick up a couple first downs, you get a good punt off, you get a favorable bounce. Now you've got to do something with this. You still got time. Time isn't a huge factor, but now you've got to start getting something from these opportunities. They've missed a couple in the first half. There are not going to be too many left in this ball game. If the Owls are looking to try to get back into this one, they're going to have to make something happen with this possession. Well, with their defense out there on the field, with the Rams backed up to their own goal line.
Yeah, this is going to be a big situation for Shepard. They're just going to QB sneak it with Lek Powell, get what they can to clear some room out of the end zone. I think they ended up getting probably 2 or 3 yards. It was a pretty good sneak.
You just see just like a stark contrast between the Rams' offensive line as opposed to the Owls' offensive line, although they did look good here in the second half, getting a good push. The Rams' offensive line has been getting that good push all day long. You run that quarterback sneak like that, and you're able to pick up chunks and get your ball club off of the goal line like that. Just that Rams' offensive line playing outstanding football.
Now they're going to hand it off. Looks like Brown on the carry. Another
about 2 or 3
short
yard
gain,
yeah.
but you did at least clear out some room here to possibly try to throw the ball or even break off a long enough run. It ended up being 4 there, so it's 3rd and 5.
I think the Rams are going to stay conservative. I think right now they're playing to
you're up 16.
Give their punter a little bit of room to get it out.
There's no real reason to force anything here, but you do at least have a little bit more of an option, as it looked like, Fisher might have moved
super
early.
duper false start right there. So again, it's going to back the Rams up and put them in a position where you can just tell that they're just trying to create some space where their punter is not going to be standing on the back line when they have to give up possession. again, similar play, ran it right up the middle, picks up about 2 or 3 yards on that play. And again, just looking, and that's all it was. So they're content, they're embracing what this game is. They know it's going to be a nip and tuck affair. It's going to be a tough defensive struggle, field position type of battle. So no reason to try to ice skate uphill with this game. You're going to go ahead, you're going to come through, come out with the win, hopefully. So get your punter a little bit of space so he can boom it out of there and put your defense back out there on the field again.
Yeah, I know Barrick is certainly a capable punter. Snap was solid enough. Barrick handles it and delivers a great kick.
Oh, man.
All the way onto the Southern Connecticut side of the field to the 45-yard line. So Coach McCook said he's a weapon, and you kind of laugh maybe when you hear that from the punter, but no, he really is.
You look at it, 2 punts inside the 5, 1 punt inside the 15, and that time you punt the ball out of your own end zone and you basically flip the field again. So he has done an outstanding job.
Yeah, I mean, still good field position, but usually you think a punt from inside the 5-yard line is going to set up the other team on their own side of the field, or on the Shepherd side of the field. And that situation does not. It backs them all the way up to the 45 of Southern Connecticut, and a high throw and nearly picked off.
So not only does he get a good high punt, it allows that coverage team to get down there and cover. They release 4 or 5 defenders down there on the ball carrier, so really limiting those return capabilities. And you can just tell that the Owls are just lacking those explosive type of plays where they're just able to get yards after contact, get yards after the catch, and just the Rams have just done a good job of wrapping up the ball carrier and not allowing those type of plays.
2nd down and 10. Ridley, play action with Martin, dumps it off to Westover. Westover finds about 5. Baden was there to make the tackle, as well as a few others for the Rams. Miles Greer coming over to help out.
And those are the type of plays you want on first down. Those are the type of plays you want on first down. They kind of chop the sticks in half a little bit, but they go out there, and again, that Rams defense has just been absolutely lights out on first down. You really put the offense in handcuffs when they're going out there facing 2nd and 10 or 2nd and long all game long, because now they're having to play desperate to try to manage not wanting to be in a 3rd and long situation. Makes them really predictable.
3rd and 4. Ridley under the Neef, and Cole Scott breaks it up. Great pass break up from the linebacker, Scott, and that results in a 4th down, and Shepherd will force another punt.
And again, these receivers are continuing to run short of the sticks. I would hate to be in that coach's meeting tomorrow when they're in there looking at tape. There was so many times during the game today where they're just running short of the sticks. It's 3rd and 4. It's 3rd and 5. You know what you have to do. Get to the sticks, show the quarterback your numbers, and they're just coming up short each and every time.
So here's another punt. This was a good punt last time. And
looks like it's going to go out of the end zone.
Yeah, tough for me to tell exactly.
On that one, you got to look at the ref.
All right.
If he looks like he's trying to fly away, that means it's a touchback.
Well, that's good for Shepherd. They'll have some breathing room here on this drive. 1st and 10 from the 20. 16-0 Rams. 3:55 to go in the 3rd quarter of play here. Shepherd Rams football on TV 10. When we return to action next week at home against Slippery Rock, we'll be back on YouTube. So just a one game where we won't be on YouTube live, I should say. If you're watching this a few days after the event on YouTube, then thank you for joining us. But if you're watching live, we're only live on TV 10 currently. So here's the run with Swinehart, and Swinehart has a big gain here, and he continues to look good running the football. And a lot of people talked about his power, but he's quicker than I was expecting, and that's a little bit of the difference between maybe Schwartz or some of the other guys that have played that RB2. Usually it's more of just a physical runner. Here we're seeing Swinehart have abilities to have the power, but also some explosiveness in his runs as well. He looks like a Division I running back.
Yeah,
I mean, when
he
you
does.
see
He
that,
looks good. Yes, absolutely.
See that ability, so it makes sense that he played some D1, and here he is again finding a solid hole up the middle. So if Shepherd can have that running game, again, Lake Powell's not going to probably put up Tyson Bajan or even maybe Seth Morgan type numbers, but the running game appears to still be very strong. You have a lot of experience up front, big offensive line, looking good.
And they're keeping him in manageable situations. You talked about the difficulties that the Owls offense has had on first downs. It's been just the opposite for the Rams offense. They've been doing very well on first downs, getting 3 and 4 yard chunks, so they're not facing those 2nd and 10s.
Play action, Powell dumps it off. There's Rosnage again, and Rosnage gets, I believe, the first down on that one, as he looks quicker this year as well. Converted, I believe, from the D-line, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah, only played in 2 games last year, was banged up. But when he came in, there was certainly a spark on the offense. He's a physical blocker, but that last play, you see that he was able to show some finesse, slipping out into the flat and picking up the catch and getting some yards after the catch. Got to have the yak.
1st and 10, big hole here for Swinehart. Swinehart, first down run.
And again, right behind Rosnich. 44, that's a good guy to follow right there.
Yeah, you just wonder what he could have done for Shepherd at that fullback spot if he didn't have the injury that he had last year. He's a converted defensive lineman. Wanted to make sure on that. He made 8 tackles in 2021. And then we saw in 2022 he didn't play much. Played just 2 games last year. Got hurt in that Edinburgh game. But Rosnage definitely provides something that they had last year, but certainly like the upgrade that they have with Rosnich. Has a solid run there. Brings up a 2nd down. I mean, you have guys like Fisher who can play that role, but Rosnich just, I mean, he's more that true fullback type.
Just a little bit more natural, a little bit more fluid. You can see when they put him in motion, they like getting him on the move. Like we mentioned, with Swinehart has that good combination of speed and quickness, power, speed, and quickness.
Another good run there. Dustin Fisher was in that lead blocking role for the Rams.
And now you're starting to see that Southern Connecticut State defense, now they're starting to wear down. You're seeing hands on hips, guys not flying to the ball, more and more players being helped off the field. We knew it was going to be an issue. It's still very warm. It's early in the football season, so you know you got the jitters. Guys are going to have adrenaline out there. They're going to burn up their energy pretty quickly. So we kind of figured that at some point in the game, you're going to see somebody start to wear down. And you see the way that this Rams offensive line has just pummeled the Owls so far today. You're starting to see now it's starting to take a toll on that defense.
And the Rams are starting to burn away this 3rd quarter. And it's just 35 seconds left in the 3rd, and it's a 3rd and 2 for Shepherd. Lek Powell is in the gun. And he'll give it to Malachi Brown, who spins out of a tackle and has the first down and more. Big run from Malachi on a 3rd down and 2. Rams moving it deep now into Southern Connecticut territory, down to about the 26-yard line. So
you knew he was going to cut it loose at one point. He's been running a very conservative style so far today. I'm sure the coaches are happy to see that, but he's like, Coach, I had to hit the circle button on that play.
And, I mean, hey, if he hits it and it's successful, you're fine with it, right? 1st and 10 when we come back as we head to the 4th quarter. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10. We're back in 1 minute.
The Palace Lounge in Martinsburg is the place to be. Join us every night to relax and enjoy football or basketball games featuring either the Martinsburg Bulldogs, Shepherd University Rams, or West Virginia Mountaineers. We will have steak night every Wednesday, shrimp nights every Thursday, and now taco and margarita nights every Tuesday. You can find us on Facebook or call 304-267-7520. The Palace Lounge is located at 1350 Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg.
Providing reliable protection since 1877, we are Farmers and Mechanic Insurance Companies. For over a century, we have been dedicated to provide dependable insurance protection and excellent customer service. We specialize in auto, home, farm, and business insurance. Our products are backed with personal, hands-on service. You can trust us to protect what matters most to you. For all of your insurance needs, there's Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies.
We welcome you back here as Shepherd leads as we head into the fourth quarter, 16-0. The Rams lead Southern Connecticut State out of the NET Conference. Nick Verzolini alongside me, Travis Smith, Colin McLaughlin, our producer, on this Thursday night, kicking off the season. Fourth quarter just about ready to get started. And Lek Powell is in the gun. And he'll play action. Look to throw deep down the middle of the field. And intercepted. Southern Connecticut State coming away with it. It's Chris White, the senior defensive back. Tough camera angle for us to see the exact play on, but it looked like it was just underthrown and possibly not the best read. Trying to hit Barry Hill there in the back of the end zone. Looked like there was more Owls than Rams in the area.
It was something the Rams play action pass went with a max protection look up front. They only had two receivers out in a route that time. So, again, you're right. More Owls in coverage than we had Rams going down the field trying to catch the pass. And like everything looked good up until the interception.
Yeah, it was a nice-looking ball.
Yeah, good-looking ball. He set up tall in the pocket and delivered it with some velocity. But sometimes those situations you just got to learn to throw it away.
And it's a rare Lek Powell interception, as he didn't throw one at all during his senior season at Bishop McDevitt. He threw 20 touchdowns to no picks. So not a guy that makes a whole lot of mistakes. Obviously Division II and high school a little bit different, but still a pretty impressive stat line to have for your senior year. And, we knew when you get to the college level, though, you might throw a few of those. But also, I feel like some people have kind of changed their thoughts on interceptions. If you don't throw any interceptions, it means you didn't take any risk. So,
no risk. One way, as Bruce Arians will say, no risk it, no biscuit.
As it looks like we have a sack on that one, no gain on the play. And coming off the edge was Brett Kuoka, the redshirt sophomore. He's definitely had a nice first game for Shepherd.
Giving some nice pressure off the side. And again, that's always the goal of this Rams defense, is that they want to get pressure with their front four without having to blitz. When you're able to do that, that really puts a lot of pressure on the offense, and that's certainly a good goal for this Rams defensive unit to work towards.
So 2nd down and 10. Here the Rams bring the blitz, and they get the sack again. That one coming from the blitzer. I can't quite tell. Looks like Harold O'Neal coming off the edge on a delayed blitz.
And again, the Rams just brought more people than the Owls could block. And you talked about it. You're not risking the ball down the field. That was kind of what Ridley was guilty of on that play. If that many guys are coming after you in the backfield, somebody has to be open. You have to have some type of check down option. But you see he's just so reluctant to make a mistake with the football, winds up eating a sack and putting himself in a hole for a 3rd and a mile.
3rd and 20. For Southern Connecticut State, 13.5 minutes left in this one. Shepherd up 16-0. Ridley feels the pressure, steps up, tries to take off, and he's got some room to run and more, and I think he's got the first down on a 3rd down and 20. We hadn't seen him pull one on any of those what looked like options, but Ridley there showing his ability to run and gets the first down to extend the drive.
He's a bigger guy. He's mobile, but his mobility is much more suited for north and south running as opposed to sideline to sideline. And again, you're not going to get much. If you're trying to rely on your speed to get the edge on this Rams defense, you're probably not going to have much success. You're going to have more success running straight at them, and that's what Ridley was able to do on that last play to pick up that long 3rd down conversion.
So it's a first down, and they'll go back to Gray, and Gray scoots forward for a few. Our fourth quarter brought to you by the Skinner Law Firm. Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, representing accident and injury claims for over 50 years. Go to SkinnerWins.com, as well as Smallwood and Small Insurance in Martinsburg, your total insurance solution at 121 Administrative Drive. Call 304-263-3361.
And one of the few times that the Owls have been able to get a big positive gain on first down. Now the 2nd and 5. Now you have access to your whole playbook at 2nd and 5. You can pound it again instead of a 3rd and short, or you can take a shot.
And they'll run it with Gray again, and he gets positive yardage. I think he's going to be about a yard shy of that first down marker, but yeah, puts you in a 3rd and 1 here. You could, again, probably going to see Gray, I would think, again. No real reason to mix it up with his abilities, they did.
But that's how important getting something on first down. It doesn't have to be a huge play on first down, but getting something, get 2, get 3 yards, something where you're not facing 2nd and 10, and that gives you some options.
Spot wasn't the best. Looks more like a 3rd and 2 from here, but could just be how I'm looking at it. But it's a long one at least, and Gray has a huge hole. He's got the first down easily, moves it into Shepherd territory. 11:25 to go in this one, and again, you're still only down 2 touchdowns. You have to get two-point conversions, but you're very much in this game. There is 11 minutes left. Maybe in other situations you would feel like you have to throw the ball, but that interception's big. Maybe that Southern Connecticut field goal not attempted earlier could be big, but it doesn't make too much of a difference at this point. It just would have changed your 2-point conversion strategy. But a lot of things showing in this defensive game so far as Ridley gets hit as he throws, but luckily he was throwing it away and out of bounds. As anytime you get hit like that, it could be a ball that ends up in the air too long, but ends up falling incomplete, so it'll be 2nd down and 10.
Again, Ridley showing some arm strength on that play just to get that ball out of danger. Again, he's backpedaling. That's not an easy throw to make it to the sidelines, but he is able to do that. Stops the clock, and most importantly, avoids a bad play or a turnover.
Yeah, the way he was hit, I thought for sure that ball was going to end up being intercepted. I was surprised he got as much on that as he did. But anyways, it's going to be 2nd down and 10. They'll run Gray here and a little stutter step in the backfield, and then he finds positive yardage, but not much. So it's going to be a 3rd and long. Comey in there for the Rams. Bednarski as well.
And again, that has just been the thorn in the side of this Owls offense, is just coming away with little to nothing on first down. That time they were able to pick up a chunk on 2nd down, so they're in a 3rd manageable. But again, just being able to get some type of positive gain on first down is just so important to keep your offense on track and on schedule.
3rd down and 6 here for the Owls, 4th quarter. 10 minutes to go. Here goes Gray running to the near side, hurdles a man, gets close to that first down marker. We'll see where they spot it. But a nice run there from Elijah Gray, who's found some running room. It looks like a flag is down, though, on the play as well, so could be bringing this thing back, and there's that holding call. And that is a drive killer. That momentum that Southern Connecticut State could be having on this drive can be eliminated on this holding call if the Rams can get a stop here.
And that's something that you can say about this first game, a positive for both teams. Not a lot of penalties.
Yeah, very true.
Not a lot of penalties for both teams. You expect more penalties the first game of the year, just timing issues, guys nervous, everybody wanting to make a play. Sometimes you'll see some sloppy play in that first game of the season, but not so much for both of these ball clubs. So I think both coaches can walk away feeling pretty good, at least about that aspect of the game.
So far, been a pretty quick-moving game. It's only been 2 hours and of total broadcast time, and that's, of course, with halftime involved. I mean, total broadcast time 2.5 because we went on 3 minutes early. But
we picked up a pizza, so that's going to add some time.
We did, yeah. But 3rd down and 16, as Ridley already had some magic earlier. He throws a screen that gets tipped and could have been dangerous. Ends up falling to the turf, incomplete. But
that was
never what you want to see. I mean,
that was odd. It's just you want to try to pull the defense away from where you want to throw the screen. So as a quarterback, you're dropping back. You know you're going to have pressure in your face. You know you have some speed up front for that Rams defense. You want to try to fade away from where you're going to try to get your running back a little bit of clear space, because it looked like he had blockers out in front of him. If he was able to get a more catchable ball, he might have had been able to catch that ball and get a little something after that. But again, just the small miscues that have just derailed this Owls offense all game long.
Yeah, I mean, screen definitely feels like the right play call, but the design of the screen wasn't necessarily the best. And Shepherd goes up and catches that punt from Miles Greer as it was dying out there around the 23-yard line or so. Looks like they'll spot it actually at the 22, but we'll see more Shepherd offense. 9:25 to go in this 4th quarter, and Nick Powell threw an interception on that last drive, but this is an opportunity, Travis, whether they score or not, to really just milk some clock.
A first down would be a victory on this possession. Just to keep that clock rolling. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you're up 16. You feel good about your defense, but just kill some clock and do what you can. No reason to take any too big of risk. I mean, at this point in the ball game, and here's a run play up the middle. Find a few yards. James Bell leading the charge for the Rams offensive line. Saw some good things from Swinehart on that last drive. The combination of him and Malachi Brown, very effective here tonight. Again, haven't seen Barnett, but I think it just appears that maybe Swinehart has kind of passed him by in terms of brings a little bit more. But, if you ever get in that situation, you could see all three guys, I think, at some point this year as well. 2nd down and 6.
Certainly in a bad weather game, you would want to see all three of those running backs as
big hole for Malachi Brown. Can he take it the distance again? Brown throws a stiff arm, and he's knocked out of bounds by the defender, but huge run there, and now you're thinking touchdown. Just saving the touchdown there was for Gora, the safety.
We're talking a little bit about Barnett and having Swinehart back there. Just think having those two running backs like Roland in a Kutztown game. That was last year where it was like just rainy, nasty game where you're not going to be able to throw the ball around like you need two bangers in the backfield. So now you have that this year. So you're looking at Barnett, had 300-yard-plus games last year. Again, averaged 7.3 yards a carry. So certainly a guy that can help your offense when he's out there on the field, but never a bad thing when you have a lot of good running backs on your roster.
1st down and 10, 8:37 left in this fourth quarter. And, I mean, running backs also tend to get injured a lot. I mean, obviously you don't hope for any of that, but you never know. So it's always good to have depth at any position, as it looks like we have a timeout. Let's take a 30-second break. 16-0 Shepherd. We're back in 30. This is Shepherd Rams Football on TV 10.
Erie Insurance says here's to the grown-ups who move, mortgage, mow, and still bust a move. But does your home insurance still fit? Erie helps you protect the home you've grown into, all at fair prices that are often less than the other guys. So how do you find the right coverage? Magic. Nope. Local independent agents who get to know you like this.
Your local Erie agent in Martinsburg is Smallwood & Small Insurance. Get a quote at smallwoodandsmall.com.
Erie Insurance.
We welcome you back. Here's Shepherd on top, 16-0 over Southern Connecticut State. 8:37 left in this fourth quarter. Nick Verzolini and Travis Smith, happy to have you with us for Shepherd Rams Football on TV 10, as well as Kyle McLaughlin, our on-site producer, doing a great job for us, helping us out. And we're just rolling through the end of this one as the Rams lead it by 16. It's been a defensive game. Both offenses have shown some good, have shown some tough things as well. I mean, obviously Southern Connecticut State has been shut out, so when it matters most, Shepherd's got the stops. As here's a Berry Hill screenplay, and Berry Hill turns it upfield for a first down. A late flag comes flying in. Looks like we had some extracurriculars on the back end here between a Shepherd offensive lineman who's down on the play and a defensive lineman for Southern Connecticut. I believe that was Nico Karamankis, the senior D tackle, who was involved in something, and a Ram offensive lineman down on the play, so you hope the best here for Shepherd. As we've seen some rotation, I'm not positive. It looks maybe to be Josh Crummett or James Bell. I don't see either of them out there on the field right now, but I could just have a bad angle. But there was definitely a tie-up. We've seen, though, Curtis Jefferson play a little bit of a role. We wondered maybe why Coach McCook had mentioned 6 offensive linemen during his press conference. I think he's kind of rotated some guys, and also we saw Jefferson was that extra back. I believe that is Crummett. Yeah, 51, Josh Crummett limping off the field. So hope everything ends up good with Crummett, as he's a young, talented player, but Shepherd's going to have to turn to its bench. And I didn't see what the penalty was. It looks like it's going to go against the Rams, as both sides were kind of tied up there. We do see checking in is Caleb Herb, the redshirt freshman, 6'3", 293 pounds.
And again, not surprising to see things getting a bit chippy down the stretch, particularly for those guys up front, the way that Rams offensive line has just been pounding on that Southern Connecticut State defensive front. It's been a hot, long day, and tempers are going to flare a little bit.
You know what? I think Ty Lucas might have been out for this game, it appears. I don't think I saw 75 out there, and we've seen Jefferson out there quite a bit, so that makes a lot more sense now why we have Herb checking in and not Jefferson coming in full time, as I believe Ty Lucas was out tonight. So
Aaron passed that time by Powell, but you can just see him getting more and more comfortable as the game is going on. A good drop back that time. He steps up, throws the ball in rhythm, just short hops it, trying to work that comeback on the sideline. They need a big chunk. Again, you pick up that personal foul on first down and really put you in a big hole, but you're just starting to see flashes of positive things out of Powell, and you hope that that trend continues for this Rams offense as the season continues.
Yeah, for sure. 2nd and 25 here for the Rams. Dorner going in motion. They'll flip it to him. Gets a block from Swinehart. Dorner still going. Cam Dorner down the sideline. And whenever Shepherd's been able to get it to their guys and they're able to turn the corner or turn upfield, just more speed than Southern Connecticut, just more explosiveness, and they haven't really had an answer for them. We've seen it on some breakaway runs. We saw it on the Berry Hill screen. You see it there on the jet sweep. And now makes it a 3rd and manageable and a big gain there of about 16 yards. And we'll see what the Rams have here on a 3rd and 9 for Lech Powell in the offense, looking to just put this thing away. Powell has some time, steps up in the pocket, now looks to run, spins out of a tackle. Lech Powell down at the 30. It's going to bring it to 4th down. So we'll see. Maybe you run on one of your freshman kickers. It would be a very long field goal here, about 47 yards. So most likely the Rams will just keep the offense on the field and see if they can get this first down and extend the drive. As I don't believe Lech gained too much on that run, if anything.
Could be another quick kick. We saw one earlier in the game that pinned the Owls deep, and it's been that kind of game. Keep on playing field position and put them on their goal line again.
Yeah, there's only 6.5 minutes left, so you feel pretty good up 16, and Lech's going to try to throw it here. Powell delivers over the middle, caught in stride for the Rams, and it's a first down.
You just see how much more comfortable he is when he only has to read that half of the field. They have that max protect look in the backfield, so he has time. He's able to step up, throw the ball on rhythm with velocity, just very comfortable when he's only having to read that one half of the field. You could just see him just as the game is going on, just getting more and more comfortable, more importantly, developing some confidence in those throws.
It's Cam Dorner making another big catch in the second half. And this is kind of how things went last year. Sometimes when you had a healthy Dorner and a healthy Taylor, you would have one guy have a big first half and the other guy have a big second half. And that's kind of what we've seen here tonight is Taylor had that first half touchdown, but Dorner's been a bigger part of the offense here in the second half. Here's Swinehart running hard up the middle and finding some room on first down as the Rams continue to milk that clock. If they can go up 23-0 with under 5 minutes, it would be extremely tough for Southern Connecticut to make any sort of comeback. But even at this point, they're milking the clock. They're driving deep into Owl territory. You're in 4-down territory as well.
Another chunk on first down for that Rams offense has just kept them on schedule and relaxed. You have access to your whole playbook on second down. Just that first down has been huge in today's game.
2nd and 5, Swinehart the back. They'll give it to him. Doesn't find too much room. Good job by the Owls defense to step up and make the tackle. As that will bring up a 3rd down for Shepherd. But before that, we got a timeout here at 4:43 left. Let's take another 30-second break. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
WVU Medicine Children's is celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit at Berkeley Medical Center. Our Level 3 NICU provides specialized care for babies born with low birth weight, prematurity, and those recovering from serious conditions. Berkeley Medical Center is proud to provide exceptional care for our tiniest patients close to home. Join WVU Medicine Children's in celebrating this 10-year milestone at Berkeley Medical Center.
Sorry about that. Had our mute button down. So, fortunately, didn't have our audio, but hey, you get the point. Jack Rossnich touchdown, right?
Enough said.
Enough said. 22-0. Felt like I had a good call, too, but unfortunately, only Colin and Travis got to hear it.
But we'll cherish it forever.
Thank you. Thank you. Extra point is up and good. 4:36 left here in the fourth. And we'll take a 1-minute break. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
Hey, it's Cody from Cody's Auto Body.
You're a potty mouth.
But we do a really great job fixing cars after an accident.
I know, but you're still a potty mouth.
I'm possibly the best friend you could ever have.
You are, but potty mouth.
If you need your car repaired, come to Cody's Auto Body, located at 851 Wilson Street in Martinsburg. Because that's Cody's with a T for f***ing trust.
See? Potty mouth.
Leave me alone.
Rox has 3 new chicken sandwiches for $4.99. They got the golden chicken sandwich, the hot honey mango, and one with the 4 basic food groups: chicken, buffalo, bacon, and ranch.
Righteous! Rock's Local Market. 3 new chicken sandwiches, just $4.99.
Rox has 3 new chicken sandwiches for $4.99. I'm getting the golden chicken sandwich or the buffalo bacon ranch.
Hot honey mango for me.
Dude, you don't have any eyebrows.
Rock's Local Market. 3 new chicken sandwiches, just $4.99.
I thought I did hit it, but I guess I hit it wrong previously, so I apologize.
There's a lot of buttons over there. You're just clicking away.
Yeah. It's a lot. You know, Colin does it every day, though, so if Colin can do it, I can do it.
I think Colin's going to be waiting for you in the parking lot after the game.
It's kind of tradition for me to just rag on Colin, like, whenever there's an opportunity to do so, because he can't say anything. So, like, it's just an easy target. He's also a good fill-in wide receiver if we don't have a number.
There we go.
Yeah, so.
He's a team player.
It's not too uncommon of a name, so there could be a Colin McLaughlin over there for all we know. First down and 10, though. Ridley looking to throw. Fires it deep and incomplete. So you see them turn to a deep shot, but doesn't work out. Villani, the intended receiver. It's been a overall really good day from the Ram defense. Southern Connecticut has had its moments where they've been able to move the football, but not finishing off drives and Shepherd offensively will be a work in progress, but 23 points here in this first game, not bad. They didn't get to their key number of 24, which is usually the stat that they need to get to. Undefeated last year, and they scored 24 or more, but they did get to 23. So,
pitching the shutout, you'll be happy with that, and hopefully the Rams get out of here with
I
no
guess
injuries and plenty of things to clean up. So an ideal situation for the coach is just walk away with the win and get ready to take on Slippery Rock.
Yeah, I mean, tonight all you needed so far was one, and you could have won. So,
yeah. Well, they had two there for a while.
They did.
And the safety would have been good enough.
Gosh.
And again, just Ridley has had just a difficult time just settling into any kind of rhythm. He's just a lot of errant passes. He seems much more comfortable working the middle of the field over the hash marks. He had a couple nice pop passes to the tight ends running the seam, but when he has to try to work outside the numbers, it is just the accuracy is just not there.
3:52 left in this fourth quarter. Rams 23, Owls nothing. 4th down and 9. And we'll see the punt. Rams getting pressure on the punt, nearly get a block. Fair catch waved for, and it will roll into the end zone for a touchback. So, Owls have one timeout left. Shepherd, with 3:45 left, can possibly run out the clock here and start the season 1-0. And again, a big one next week against Slippery Rock. Home opener, noon kickoff. We'll go on the air at 11:30 for what should be a very exciting football game between Shepherd and the Rock. Slippery Rock returns a ton from last year. Great team, so it'll be a tough matchup.
Yeah, one of the blue bloods of the PSAC division, so two top-tier programs going to be squaring off next week.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting to see where the Rams' offense goes from week 1 to week 2. Defensively, I think they can keep up, but can Shepherd put up enough points on the board? I think will ultimately be the test against a pretty high-powered offense and experienced offense, especially the quarterback position. It's going to continue to be how does Powell grow and develop. And I think overall, first game, he's been very solid. It's looked like we might have had delay of game or some sort of penalty, which we haven't seen a whole lot of penalties tonight, so that will be something that I'm sure will be looked at as a positive, but there is the delay of game to back him up. So First and 15, of course, tomorrow on TV10 and Talk Radio WRNR, as well as with YouTube channel. Swinehart gets no real gain there. Coming up and making another tackle is Walker, sophomore linebacker. We'll have Martinsburg Bulldog football. It'll be a rematch of the state semifinals. The Huntington Highlanders come to town tomorrow night. So some exciting stuff coming up. See if the Dogs can start the year 2-0. As well as we'll have updates from other EPAC football action. But second down here. Swinehart running again and running with power and explosiveness. And he's got a first down and more before they finally throw him out of bounds around the 39-yard line.
Just like you said, power, explosiveness, and most importantly, attitude. You could tell he's angry when he's running with the football, and that's something that you certainly like out of your running back, and it matches the personality of that offensive line that's in front of him, because they have just been nasty so far today, just doing a good job in pass protection and really just pushing people around in the run game.
Under 3 minutes left in this contest. Powell in the pistol. Turns around, feeds Swinehart. Swinehart, another solid run. Finds about a yard or two.
And again, just chipping away on first down. You don't need a bunch on first down, but it's just going to keep your offense on schedule. It just helps the offense out so much when you're able to get a little bit of something on first down. That's been the difference in the game today. That's why the Rams offense has been more successful than the Owls offense. The Rams have been able to get something on first down, and it's kind of been a snowball effect. And just the opposite has been true for the Owls offense. They have really a lot of swing and misses on first down, and it's really just put their offense behind the 8 ball.
2 minutes left in this one. We'll take a break. 23-0 Shepherd. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
A DUI arrest can have a devastating impact on one's life, your job, your driver's license, and in some cases, your very freedom. My name is Harley Wagner. I own and operate West Virginia's only exclusive DUI defense firm. Since 1999, I've been representing citizens throughout the Eastern Panhandle and state of West Virginia charged with DUI. Let my years of training and experience work for you.
The initial consultation is free at the Wagner Law Firm in Martinsburg. Phone 304-901-7400 or online at westvirginiaduilawyers.com.
We welcome you back. Just 2 minutes left in this one. 23-0 Shepherd on top of Southern Connecticut State. Second down and 7 for the Rams as they try to put it away in this, again, season opener to bring the all-time series to 3-0 Rams. So they've won both games in the series. Here's a nice play again. The Rams' speed on the outside, just too much for Southern Connecticut State, and they get another big play.
Again, the Rams have just shown up to the party with just more weapons than what the Owls can really sustain. They've been able to hang tough. It was a tight game early on, but as things began to wear on and players started to get tired and the Rams coaching staff able to make those adjustments, you saw that disparity in talent really just start to show up more and more as the game wore on.
Yeah, that was the transfer of Thaddeus Stanfield from Edinburgh. And now Shepherd can just take some knees and walk away with a victory. Stanfield's joining a very deep wide receiver room. He was probably wide receiver 1 or 2 over there for Edinburgh, but he comes over to Shepherd. He's still got, according to the roster we have, 2 years of eligibility. So if that is accurate, could be a big-time player for them next year when they lose Jeremiah Taylor, but also just to have that wide receiver depth, it helps out a lot. And Stanfield's certainly a capable player, but the Rams taking some knees, and they're going to start the year 1-0. So even with the quarterback change, maybe not everything being perfection, it's still a great start and a 1-0 start and a shutout victory. And defensively, Shepherd, I think, can definitely, Travis, find a way back into the postseason with their defense and their running game.
And that's what you want when you have a team and you're coming into a season. You need to establish an identity for that season. You really can't rest on what you were able to accomplish the year before. You need to figure out how this group of guys is going to win ball games, and you were able to go out on the road going up against a stout opponent. They didn't give it away. They had to earn it. They had to go out there and do it in a variety of ways. They had to do it with special teams play. They had to do it with defense, and eventually the offense was able to get things rolling and put some points on the board to come away with this win. But that was critical, that you needed to try to go out there, establish an identity, and learn how to win as this group is going forward in this 2024 campaign, especially when your second game of the season, you're hosting Slippery Rock. So you have no time to mess around. You got to get a lot of things figured out before you get into your Week 2 contest.
Yeah, we'll take a 2-minute break, then we'll roll into the post-game show. This is Shepherd Rams football on TV 10.
Mayhem is everywhere.
I'm your new bangs, and you can't stop staring at me. That's it. Just tilt the rearview mirror over here. And while you're checking me out more times than a library book, your car is wandering into that lane over there. More bangs? Neat. And if you've got cut rate insurance, you could be paying for this yourself. So get Allstate.
Call Martinsburg Allstate agent Gary Kelly today at 304-263-4596.
Mommy, where does flavor come from?
Well, when people love food, they cook it on a Traeger grill. Meat, corn, even pie. And then the Traeger does the rest, which brings everyone to celebrate this beautiful thing that they've created. Because when you share delicious food with your friends, that's the flavor of life.
Shop now and save at Orsini's today.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
It's the post-game show as we recap the scoring, bring you stats and analysis, scores from around the PSAC and Super Region 1, the Division 1 Top 25, and the latest on the West Virginia University Mountaineers and Marshall University Thundering Herd. Let's get it started as we go back to the field and rejoin our TV10 broadcast team.
We welcome you in to the Palace Lounge post-game show. Nick Verzolini alongside me, Travis Smith here, Colin McLaughlin, our producer. Post-game show, of course, brought to you by the Palace Lounge, located on Edward Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg, with a full lunch and dinner menu with daily specials and a clean, comfortable atmosphere. Check out the menu on the Palace Lounge Facebook page. Get into some post-game stats, and then we'll get some final thoughts from Travis and wrap things up here. Lek Powell goes 11-19 in his first career start. 2 touchdowns, 1 INT, 130 yards. That's 58% completion percentage. Not too bad. Not obviously huge numbers or anything like that, but took care of the ball for the most part and made the throws that they needed him to. Cam Dorner finishes with just two official catches, so the one other play he had was credited as a rushing attempt, but 2 receptions, 52 yards for Dorner. Malachi Brown, 3 catches, 26 yards. Rosnich, 3 catches, 24 yards and a touchdown. And 2 catches for Jeremiah Taylor for 17 yards and a score. Stanfield adds 1 as well for 11 yards. Malachi Brown, 19 carries, 163 yards, 9 yards a carry and a score, including the 55-yard course touchdown. And then Gabe Swinehart did his job as well. 14 carries, 88 yards on the ground, 6 yards a carry. If this is completely accurate stats, Shepherd didn't lose a yard on any of their runs by their running backs. So that's pretty impressive as well.
That's pretty tough.
Because all their net yards were their gained yards. So that's good stuff from the Rams. Cam Dorner, 1 carry for 16 yards as well. Like Powell had a 7 yards total on his 4 attempts. Defensively, some leaders for Shepherd. Baden led the team with 8 tackles. Miles Greer was 6. Carroll was 6 as well. Comey with 5. And then quickly we'll give you the Southern Connecticut stats. Ridley finishes 17-29. That's 59% completion percentage. He was sacked just once. 111 yards. Passing as well. Gray led the team in receiving yards, 31. Receptions were led by Westover with 5 for 20. Rushing the ball, Gray ran it 18 times. He gained 54 yards, but had a net of 49, so 2.7 yards a carry. And Ridley ran it 5 times for 15 yards. And then defensively, not a whole lot stands out. The Gello had 7 tackles to help lead the way for Southern Connecticut. So those post-game stats are brought to you by RAI Properties, LLC, serving the tri-state area. Call 304-200-3144 or visit www.raiproperties.com. Travis, any final thoughts on this one before we get your awards?
Well, this Rams defense really stepped up and set the tone early on in the game. And I think the offensive line kind of took that challenge for the Rams and okay, we'll add on to that as well. That Rams offensive line did awesome. You talked about how the running backs for the Rams had all positive yards, no negative yards. You look at that offensive line. That's why that happened that way. So the offensive line just did a really good job, and just everybody did their job as far as stepping up and helping the inexperienced quarterback get settled in. You could certainly see that he was a little bit more confident, a little bit more comfortable out there on the field as the game began to wear on. So things are looking bright for the Rams here early on.
All right, Travis, let's get your player of the game, brought to you by CMA's Martinsburg and Winchester dealerships, proud to be the owners who just care more.
I got to say that it was a lot of groups of people that I would like to give the award to, but if I had to give a player game, I would have to give it to Malachi Brown. He was the one that provided those explosive plays. He was the difference maker early on that kind of really blew things open. So Malachi Brown just putting in a workhorse type performance tonight. Most importantly, did not put the ball on the ground once. Hats off to that young man. Great offseason. Looking forward to more from him as the year goes on.
Yeah, tough to argue with that one, obviously, though. Shepard had really a great running game in general, if you just want to shout out that unit.
Again, that offensive line
and Jack Rosnich.
Yes. We saw him last year just briefly. It showed flashes like he had an impact, and today he kind of picked up where he left off from last year. So hopefully he's able to maintain his health throughout the year, and I think we're going to see more big plays out of him, because it's going to be the running backs and the fullbacks and the tight ends that's going to help this young quarterback really get acclimated to this game and being a starter.
So excited to see how Shepard does moving forward again against Slippery Rock next Saturday. It's a noon kickoff. 11:30 a.m. will go on the air as the Rams take on the Rock. But for Colin McLaughlin, Travis Smith, I'm Nick Verzolini saying so long. Tomorrow night we'll have Martinsburg Bulldog football. They go on the air at 6 p.m. before a 7 p.m. kickoff between the Bulldogs and the Huntington Highlanders. But that'll do it for us. Once again, your final score, Shepard 23, Southern Connecticut State nothing. Have a good night, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
You've been watching coverage of NCAA Division II football, featuring the Shepard Rams in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. Today's coverage is brought to you by
Orsini's Home Store, Century 21 Modern Realty Results, Cody's Auto Body, The Palace Lounge, CMA Honda, the Berkeley County Health Department, Skinner Accident and Injury Lawyers, Brown's Funeral Home and Cremations, Hagerstown Ford, the Mansion Ferretti Law Firm, the Mirius Group of Financial Advisors, Bodwell Insurance Solutions, W. Harley Miller Systems, Smallwood and Small Insurance Agency, CMA Chrysler Dodge, WVU East, the law firm of Burke Schultz Harmon and Jenkinson, RAI Properties, Parsons Ford, Rocks, John Hardy, Ollie's VIP North, Gary Kelly Allstate, and Panhandle Dumpsters.
TV10 Sports thanks you for watching today's game. All rights reserved.